The threat of the Shadow Dragons is finally over, for good. Gohan and Pan have finally been revived and the negative energy binding Goku has been purified. For now, peace has returned to the Z Fighters, but as we were warned in the last chapter of Dragon Ball AF, as long as Goku and his friends are around, there will always be a new adventure. After a long, hard-fought battle, the Earth has lived in peace for the past 3 years. Over at Goku's house, Chi-Chi calls out to him saying that since he's come back home, it's been training and more training. How about a little help around the house? I know, Chi-Chi, he responds. I finished my work in the field early today. I want to go spar with Vegeta. All you ever want to do is train, she says, shaking her head. What am I gonna do with you? That's right, he says. I've got to keep getting stronger. I don't know who my next opponent will be against. But there is no one left for you to fight, Chi-Chi replies. But by now, she should know better, as Goku does. That's not true. There are still people a lot stronger than me out there in the universe. I get excited just thinking about it. No doubt about it, Chi-Chi admits. He's a complete Saiyan and a fighting maniac as Goku heads off into the sky to go and find Vegeta. As we finally start a new saga in Dragon Ball AF, I really hope you guys enjoyed the new Shadow Dragon saga, and if you haven't seen the whole thing, be sure to check out the entire 4-hour-long movie that I'm gonna have linked up at the top of the screen right now. Consider leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and without further ado, let's hop right back into Young Gigi's Dragon Ball AF. Over in the wastelands at the top of a mountain, Vegeta is in the middle of training solo as he takes a deep breath and then transforms as he opens his eyes. He transforms into a Super Saiyan and then begins his own shadow boxing session, throwing punches and a flurry of kicks, honing his precision and speed. After a moment, he descends back down to the ground and goes back to base form. However, he says, something doesn't feel right. No. Is this the instinct of a Saiyan, he says? All of a sudden, Goku appears in front of him by way of instant transmission saying, yo, up to the same training as usual, I see. Kakarot, is this strange, uneasy feeling in the air you're doing, he asks. What? What is it, Goku replies. Isn't it obvious? I'm a little stiff from overworking. Have you gotten stronger, he says. Working in the fields all day just makes your body itch for a fight. Perhaps my mind has been playing tricks on me, so for now, he chooses to ignore it, but keep this in the back of his mind. This is when a shrieking voice can be heard throughout the wasteland as Goku realizes that King Kai is calling out to him. Ah, it's been a long time. How have you been, he says. Wait, this isn't the time for casual greetings, King Kai says to himself, cutting himself off. On a serious note, not a long time ago, a strange occurrence has began taking place. A mysterious warrior has appeared and is rampaging throughout the northern galaxy. A mysterious warrior rampaging, Goku says, as we can see the excitement building up on his face. King Kai replies that he's destroyed 10 planets so far already. If left alone, all life in the universe will eventually disappear. Goku, Vegeta, shouldn't have to ask this of you as you've done enough already, but this is a terrible situation. Will you help me take care of this problem as soon as possible? Apparently, this was the reason for my uneasiness, Vegeta comments, as his feelings earlier start making more sense now. Fine. I was just starting to get bored anyways. This is getting really exciting, Goku states, as the story then takes the Saiyans to the northern galaxy. On a faraway planet, somewhere in the northern galaxy, dozens of aliens are being tormented, but something is weird here. In the middle of a pile of bodies stands this new opponent for Goku and Vegeta who looks more feral and out of control than the average fighter. A super muscular alien with vicious claws. More power, he says, as he screams after killing everyone around him. King Kai, where is this guy? Goku asks. King Kai replies saying that he doesn't know what planet he's currently on either, and the last planet he destroyed was inhabited entirely by a peaceful race. Why was such a violent being born? It's not clear at all. However, listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. His power increases with each planet he destroys. Huh? Goku says? His power is increasing? Is he the type that grows stronger after every battle, Vegeta asks? Well, I don't know or understand the details myself, King Kai says. You gotta hurry. In addition to the damage already done, more lives are vanishing by the second. Well, we don't know anything about him, Goku states. I'll find out what kind of opponent he is by seeing him for myself. He puts his fingers to his forehead in order to find some type of enormous key signature in the Northern Galaxy as Vegeta places his hand on his shoulder and then he finds him. Oh, it's giving off a wicked energy, Goku says as they teleport from King Kai's planet over to the Northern Galaxy. As the two start walking around on this random planet, all of a sudden they're taken off guard by the alien from earlier who sniffed out their powers and appears above them. He slams a punch down into the ground that Goku and Vegeta are barely able to dodge, creating a massive crater into the ground. Now, it's finally time for Goku and Vegeta to face their first true threat since the Shadow Dragons appeared, and this one looks to be wildly strong. Suddenly, attacking someone from behind like that is bad manners, Goku tells him, but their opponent is obsessed with gaining more energy, blinded by it even. It's guys like you who seem to have no self. Forget it, Goku goes on. If you want to fight, fine. Come at me. Goku prepares for a fight, but Vegeta stops him saying, wait a minute, Kakarot. But not for anything serious. He just wanted to play rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to go first. Vegeta actually wins this time, so he gets to fight first as their impatient opponent grows annoyed. Suddenly, Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan 2 to the shock of their opponent, who seems blissfully unaware of just how much power Goku and Vegeta are capable of. I'll show you the true wrath of Saiyans. Let me know how it feels, Vegeta warns him, as Goku stands by spectating for now and wondering just how strong Vegeta's truly gotten since he showed up too late to see him use Super Saiyan 5 against the Shadow Dragon. The alien leaps at Vegeta, who can't wait for a good fight again, as he easily dodges all of his opponent's attacks. The alien grows more aggravated, throwing a flurry of punches, but Vegeta isn't impressed in the slightest. He throws one solid punch, however, and although Vegeta is able to block it, sends him flying before he's able to catch himself and stop his momentum. However, this is short-lived for the alien, as Vegeta appears right in front of him in the blink of an eye and returns the favor as his punch sends his opponent skidding backwards for many feet. However, something is up here, and Goku can sense it as well during this next encounter. Vegeta doesn't seem to exactly have the upper hand anymore. The alien is not only blocking his attacks, but he's even able to outspeed and land a punch on Vegeta out of nowhere now. He sends Vegeta flying with his attack, and he can't help but be surprised at this guy's new strength. Somehow, his strength has changed, and it happened rapidly. During their next back and forth, Vegeta tries to keep up his guard a little bit better, but again, his opponent is able to gain the upper hand once more and lands another crushing punch to Vegeta's gut that sends him flying backwards again. You seem to be stronger than I thought, Vegeta admits. I didn't think that I'd be forced to transform further. As Goku continues observing closely, Vegeta begins to transform again. Now, it's time for Super Saiyan 3, finally returning for the first time since the battle against the final 4-star Shadow Dragon, as the alien is in disbelief at this huge jump in power. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is born once more. In this state, I'm not going to be going gentle like I was before, Vegeta tells him. I'll end this quickly. Goku is still watching very keenly, saying that something feels off about this guy. Vegeta charges at his opponent with speed much faster than before and appears behind him suddenly. He lands a devastating punch across his opponent's face, then another, and then he sends the alien soaring into the air with a kick to the stomach. He quickly flies around above him and sends him crashing into the ground below with a punch to the gut. Still, while Vegeta may have the clear upper hand after this transformation, Goku still doesn't understand what's going on, saying that this guy has a really weird way of fighting. The alien leaps out of the debris and fires back at Vegeta, throwing a flurry of punches and kicks. "He's tougher than I thought," Vegeta admits. "Well then, I'll show you my true power." Vegeta turns up the heat some more, and this time, he completely overwhelms his opponent without giving him an inch. Next, he kicks him in the chin, sending him into the air before preparing one last attack to finish this. Vegeta outstretches his arms and then brings them together after gathering an absurd amount of energy before firing a massive final flash. Vegeta's attack engulfs the entire battlefield as his attack hones in on the alien and seems to make a direct hit, causing a massive explosion in the sky. "I wonder if I was a bit too serious there," Vegeta says, scoffing at his opponent who seems to not even have been able to tank that single attack. However, all of a sudden, Goku notices the alien's ki has shifted and alerts Vegeta that he's right behind him. Vegeta turns around with the alien right behind him now and gets pierced in the ribs by his tail. Stunned, Vegeta doesn't really know what to make of this situation now, but this is when we see that the alien is draining him of his energy before Vegeta ends up back in his base form, snatching away from the alien. "What on earth did you just do?" Vegeta asks as he looks down at his hands. He tries to transform again, but can barely raise his power level anymore as he says that he barely has any energy left. "As expected, I knew something was off," Goku says, still trying to figure out exactly what this guy's ability is as the alien busts out laughing. "What's so funny?" Vegeta asks. The alien responds that he fell right into his trap. "He was actually pretending all along to be weak and let his guard down," Goku confirms. "It was all to trick Vegeta into going all out. No wonder I felt this strange uneasiness," as the alien confirms that thanks to his carelessness, he was able to absorb all of Vegeta's energy. Angered now, Vegeta tries to force himself to power up and transform once more, but he's been drained so much that it's useless. "It's pointless," his opponent says. "You have very little energy remaining. You're already finished. I'll take the rest of your energy along with your life as well." He launches himself at Vegeta to finish him with one final attack, but before he can kill Vegeta, Super Saiyan Goku steps in and kicks him across the face. Goku takes it upon himself to tag in as Vegeta restores his energy and sees what this new opponent is all about himself. Vegeta tells him he won't forgive him if he loses and gets out of the way to restore his energy. "I'll just take your energy too," the alien says, as Goku says that it seems like his main way of getting stronger is absorbing other people's power. And you've already absorbed Vegeta's, so now it's gonna get interesting, Goku declares as he starts powering up. He transforms into a Super Saiyan 3 as well, but now that he understands the alien's power a bit more and that he was holding back, he won't go out like Vegeta did. The mysterious warrior destroyed the planets of the Northern Galaxy and has absorbed the energy of others to grow stronger. He even absorbed Vegeta's power. So if he does the same thing to Goku, how do they plan on winning? Hearing that a mysterious warrior was rampaging in the Northern Galaxy, Goku and Vegeta arrived at the scene as soon as they could. After the Shadow Dragon saga and the revival of Gohan, Pan, and Goku, the Z Fighters have been living in peace for a little while, but now, things are back to being unpredictable in the Dragon Ball universe. Spoitz, the name of the new alien Goku and Vegeta are battling, has successfully defeated Vegeta. He even stole his energy. Since Vegeta is unable to fight, Goku steps in to stop Spoitz's rampage. "Come attack me with your real strength," Goku says after transforming into a Super Saiyan 3. Spoitz tells him he'll regret this as the two prepare for their next clash. Goku makes the first move and charges at him, and they clash elbows. Spoitz misses his first punch, but is able to dodge Goku's kick as well. They then go on to clash in a high-speed back and forth before Spoitz finally lands a punch and sends Goku flying. He chases him down, and to our surprise, he's able to continue overwhelming Goku, landing more attacks on him. He punches him in the stomach and then sends Goku flying backwards with a headbutt. He then fires off a blast hoping to destroy Goku that homes in on him and causes a massive explosion. Goku, of course, was able to survive, saying that maybe it's just because he absorbed Vegeta's power, but man, This fight does not seem to be in his favor. Accepting your defeat, Spoitz asks Goku. I hope you'll be good nourishment. Well, Goku replies, I'm not going down without using my full strength. This is when Goku starts powering up again as his body starts transforming, showing Spoitz that he got off easy stopping Vegeta ahead of time. In an explosion of blinding light, Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan 4. Alright, the real fight starts now, Goku says as his demeanor instantly becomes more serious. Even Spoitz has to admit that Goku is truly amazing. However, your power will soon become a part of me, he comments. Let's see, Goku says as he charges at the alien again. This time, things are different though. Instantly, Goku overpowers him, punching him in the face. Goku then shows him impressive speed, ducking under his opponent's kick, and then the two engage in a clash afterwards, and impressively enough, Spoitz is able to hang with them. He's even able to dodge one of Goku's attacks, but all of a sudden, he takes off flying in the opposite direction. Goku chases after him and catches up to him, flying right beside him now, and then fires a blast at him. Spoitz knocks it away, but by the time he's able to see where Goku is, he's disappeared and shown up behind him. Goku punches him in the back and then kicks him away. He starts charging a Kamehameha times 10 and launches the massive attack at him as Spoitz seems to have no way out. The beam makes contact and then causes another explosion that even reaches where Vegeta is spectating the battle from and almost blows him away. Amazingly enough, however, Spoitz can be seen to have tanked the attack as he lowers his guard and waits for Goku's next move. Alright, you seem to be worth absorbing, he tells Goku. Now that I know your skills and abilities, I won't be careless though, Goku says. You don't have to worry about being careless, Spoitz tells Goku, because I've already defeated you. What do you mean, Goku asks. Simple. I haven't gotten serious yet. I must say, it's a different and careless way to battle, Goku says. Good. Show me what else you've got hidden. This is when, for the first time, we see Spoitz releasing a devastating amount of power, preparing to show his true strength before Super Saiyan 4 Goku. However, it's a bit more than Goku imagined. This guy is a lot stronger than he was letting off too. I guess he's using my power that he absorbed a while ago, Vegeta says. Using Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta's power that he had dormant within him after absorbing it, Spoitz's new power explodes, morphing him into a much stronger being. So, don't you think this power is wonderful, he asks? I'm certainly getting excited, Goku says, but Spoitz warns him that now is not the time to get excited because the real fight is about to start. And if he's able to absorb Super Saiyan Goku's power, it's over. Spoitz extends his arm and fires a high-speed beam at Goku, who luckily is able to evade it, but he's not done. He keeps firing a flurry of beams at Goku, who keeps dodging back and forth until eventually he appears behind the alien again, but he's not able to take him off guard. Goku gets hit with one of the beams before quickly getting overwhelmed by multiple turning around and striking him. The flurry of attacks explodes, creating a huge cloud of smoke around Goku, but when he opens his eyes, he's shocked. Spoitz appears right in front of him and elbows Goku in the chin after blitzing him at a high speed. Goku tries to regain his balance, but Spoitz quickly follows up with another punch, sending Goku backwards. Goku flies away, but is able to finally regain his footing. However, the alien appears above him and at point blank range, fires another massive beam right in Goku's face that engulfs him entirely and crashes him into the battlefield below before exploding. Spoitz looks on amused, wondering if Goku was able to tank that attack as well. Fortunately for us, he gets back up once the smoke clears. That was definitely Vegeta's power that he absorbed a while ago, Goku says, noticing that key anywhere. I was going easy on you all this time, Spoitz responds. Are you giving up on me this early? Well, I was waiting for this excitement. Here we go. Let's have some more fun, Goku says, as even though this guy's a lot stronger than they thought, it's been long enough since there was a real threat that got them this excited. What a strange guy, Spoitz says, as he tries to understand Goku's determination. But this is a Saiyan, a battle-loving low-class warrior who does this for the love of the game. Getting more serious now, Goku charges at him again, but this time, something's new. This time, he's a lot more serious, and as he decks Spoitz in the face with another punch, and then another, he easily dodges the alien's counterattack before the two of them engage in one of those classic Tenkaichi-style clashes, making a bunch of shockwaves all over the sky. Surprisingly, these two look decently evenly matched as they go back and forth with no one having a clear upper hand, but at least for one of them, this is an extremely enjoyable fight. Kakarot. Seemed like he was stressed out a bit there, Vegeta says, still spectating. I'm starting to enjoy this fight myself. Goku and Spoitz continue trading shots until they finally separate again. The alien seems to still be trying to figure Goku out, but Goku has an amused smirk on his face before starting to charge another Kamehameha. Spoitz suspiciously doesn't move at all while Goku prepares his attack, like he's looking forward to seeing if he can overcome it. Goku fires it directly at him, and surprisingly, Spoitz doesn't evade the attack. He puts his hands out and tries to stop it. Spoitz grips the attack and with a burst of insane strength, literally rips apart the Kamehameha to the shock of everyone. He nullified Kakarot's Kamehameha with ease, Vegeta says. So, you're still holding your true power right now, Goku says, knowing that there's a huge difference from the power the alien showed prior and what it took to destroy that beam. Oh, have you noticed already, he replies. Well, that's right. I haven't been going all out. I wonder if you still hide your true power too. Well, what can I say, Goku says, to which Spoitz asks, isn't it time that they get serious with each other now? Alright, Goku responds, but don't regret this, okay? Spoitz goes first, releasing the full extent of his true power, his ki exploding and becoming more aggressive than they ever imagined. This guy is amazing, Goku says, as he can't help but tremble from pure excitement at the amount of power this guy was holding back all this time. However, Vegeta is stunned that this is what they were really up against. When Spoitz is finished, he finally reveals his true form that he'd been hiding all along. This is full power Spoitz in his final form, really reminiscent, honestly, of one of Frieza's transformations. Let's try this again. This is my real strength. This is gonna be interesting, Goku says, as he finally gets what he wanted. This is the fight that he wanted, and to oblige his opponent, Goku starts powering up again as well. Remember, he still has one more form too. Goku starts transforming again, and within moments, Super Saiyan 5 Goku finally returns. Spoitz can't believe it, as Vegeta looks on intensely. Super Saiyan 5 has appeared once more, and this time, it seems like Goku has somewhat mastered it. The real fight begins now, he says, as Spoitz agrees and gets ready for their next confrontation. But Super Saiyan 5 Goku isn't about to back down from a battle to this degree. Being forced to use Super Saiyan 5 in the first place should say something that we need to know about the strength of his opponent. Both Goku and Spoitz have finally shown their true power, and Vegeta is still watching as his energy after being absorbed continues to restore. Which one of these guys will be the true victor here? However, even though Goku is excited for this fight, he has to do everything he can not to get his Super Saiyan 5 powers absorbed, because if he does, there's nothing they can do to stop this guy. Goku and Spoitz are now both at their full power in Chapter 20 of Dragon Ball AF. Goku in Super Saiyan 5, and Spoitz in his new final form as well. Will Goku be able to defeat this new form even as a Super Saiyan 5 is still yet to be seen. Vegeta continues watching on in the background as Goku charges at Spoitz again, starting the next round. Goku throws an elbow with Spoitz barely able to block it in time. However, he's able to duck the next one. The two of them then take off and engage in an intense back and forth clash, but even though Spoitz may have looked a little disadvantaged at first, he looks almost as equally as powerful as Goku when he strikes back. He lands a massive combo and then another devastating punch that shocks Goku. Goku rebounds and stops his momentum, but by the time he looks up, there's a massive blast headed straight towards him. It makes a direct hit and causes a massive explosion, but fortunately, although it may have done a bit of damage, he's okay. So, is that all you can do? Spoitz asks as Goku lowers his guard, but doesn't seem the least bit worried by the look on his face. That's more like it from me, Goku says, with his tone completely shifting now. It seems that I've become too strong. I'm disappointed in your power, Goku tells him. I expected much more from you. If this is your maximum, I don't need to go all out. What? Spoitz says, trembling from rage and embarrassment at what Goku just said to him. My power disappoints you? Unless Spoitz is an absolutely ridiculous specimen that's been fabled throughout time, this view from Goku shouldn't surprise anyone, seeing as how they just fought a new version of an Omega Shadow Dragon in the previous arc. What the hell? Stop your bluffing, he demands. If you knew how many people I absorbed, it's impossible that a simple human being like you can defeat me. If it makes you feel better, think what you want, Goku tells him. But the truth is what it is. If you think I'm lying, then come see for yourself. Spoitz is infuriated at Goku's arrogance, but even Vegeta can clearly see that this fight is nearly over now, no matter what the alien does. He takes off and charges at Goku at full speed with all of his might, but the smirk on Goku's face is worth 1,000 words. Goku easily ducks under Spoitz's next attack and then responds by delivering a crushing punch of his own to his gut. His next punch rocks the alien, and then he kicks him with all the strength of his Super Saiyan 5 power, sending him crashing into the buildings below. Well, what's wrong? Is that all, Goku asks with a major case of Super Saiyan 2 Team Gohan arrogance. Spoitz gets to his feet, refusing to believe even after releasing his full power that Goku is still this much stronger than him, and erupts in an angry surge of ki. He flies into the air across from Goku and extends his arms out to his sides. Spoitz starts charging in obscene amounts of ki, but this stance? Goku easily recognizes it and can't help but wonder if it's the same technique. Nobody can defeat me in this world. Nobody, you hear me? Spoitz screams in anger as he releases an enormous final flash that apparently he was able to steal from Vegeta after absorbing his power. Goku, however, is never impressed by someone stealing someone else's power, no matter how strong they may be. He simply sticks out his hand, catches the final flash in his palm, and to the shock of Spoitz, and I'm sure everyone watching this video, Goku does one of the most badass things I've ever seen in Dragon Ball. He grips the final flash and crushes it in his fist, disintegrating it with his bare hand. Even Vegeta can't believe what he just saw, being able to stop such an attack so easily. Spoitz is stunned, and at this point, he knows he has no chance as his angry trembling turns into fear. He put everything he had into that attack, and Goku made it look insignificant. See? I told you so, he says. I don't need to go all out against you. How is it that such a guy exists, Spoitz thinks to himself. There's only one thing left to do. This is when he does something that we see all the scum in Dragon Ball do at one point or another. Spoitz immediately turns his attention to Vegeta on the ground, who's still much weaker after having his energy absorbed, and fires a blast his way, giving him no time to react. Goku, thinking fast, uses instant transmission to get between the blast and Vegeta and swats it away. Suddenly, Spoitz appears behind Goku, successfully tricking him by using Vegeta as bait, and before he's able to react, sticks him with his tail. Spoitz drains Goku of his power as well, and this results in Goku turning back into his kid form as Spoitz successfully takes both Saiyans' energy. Vegeta scolds Goku for not thinking and just protecting him mindlessly as Spoitz pats himself on the back for outsmarting them and being able to turn this situation around so easily. However, this is when Spoitz realizes that he doesn't feel any change. even though he absorbed his energy. Well, that doesn't change anything anyway. So what are you gonna do now, he asked Goku. This is when we notice that Goku still has his eyes closed and a perfectly calm expression on his face. Hey, he says. What's happening to you, Spoitz asks. You're in over your head. I already told you. I never let my guard down, Goku replies. What do you mean by that? All of a sudden, Goku fires his ki back up and transforms into a Super Saiyan 5 again? Spoitz can barely believe his eyes, but as Vegeta explains, Goku was able to fool him just in time. I had time to deploy a ki barrier before you tried to absorb my energy, Goku tells him. A barrier of ki, Spoitz stutters. How could he? I knew you would try to absorb my energy at some point, and I know you can't do anything without blocking my movements. How is this possible? I'm supposed to be the most powerful entity in the universe, Spoitz thinks to himself. I had to absorb so many people to become this powerful. So not being able to defeat a mere human brings me back to where I started. In the past, Spoitz's home planet was attacked and destroyed by a powerful alien. Spoitz survived, but he vowed to never have to go through that again. So he decided to do everything he could to become the most powerful warrior in existence. Afterwards, he threw his heart and soul into research with the aim of improving his own body. But there was a limit to the modification of a body made of flesh. That's when he came up with the idea of absorption capacity. If there is a limit to his own strength, then the solution is to take that of others. So he ended up modifying his body once again to get to the final form we know today. I thought that with this power of absorption, nobody would resist me anymore. Why? Where did I go wrong, he thinks to himself. The fight is over, Goku tells him. If you promise to never hurt anyone around you ever again, I'll let you live. Vegeta isn't so sure though and definitely doesn't agree with this. However, Goku says that there's no point in fighting anymore. The outcome of this fight is already known, throwing more salt in the wound. To tell you the truth, Spoitz begins, I wanted at all costs not to have recourse to this power, but I have no choice. I can't withdraw after such humiliation. What do you mean, Goku asks? You mean you're still hiding something from me? Since I have no choice, I'll show you my ultimate secret technique, Spoitz replies. Once in the afterlife, you'll regret humiliating me like this. This is when the alien starts transforming again, releasing a grotesque amount of ki, but this new form of his is far more terrifying than the last. Even Vegeta can't help but admit that this new outpouring of ki is troubling. Suddenly, Spoitz's ki erupts as his new form sends a burst of wind and blinding light throughout the battlefield. When everything settles, we can see Spoitz's new form almost looks like a husk of his former self. As Goku mentions, it seems like he traded all reason to exploit the depths of every bit of power he's ever absorbed. As if, in a feral state now, the alien shrieks before charging at Goku again with blinding speed and power. He hits Goku with a punch that, although he was able to block it in time, nearly crushes his forearms. The being he was fighting before is no longer there, as he eats a kick that sends him flying. He regains his balance, but before he can scan the battlefield again, Spoitz appears behind him once more. This is when he grabs Goku's arm and bites it, showing just how feral this guy is now, as even Goku is shocked at how wild he's fighting all of a sudden. He punches him to get him off of his arm, as both these guys are finally showing slight effects of fatigue from this long drawn out fight. You are really much stronger than before, Goku tells him, but you won't win against me with only your power increased. I'll teach you a trick before you join the world of the dead. In a fight, strategy is also very important, he says. This is when Goku gets serious again, as his arrogance and playfulness seems to suddenly have disappeared from his face. He charges at the alien full stop and lands a vicious punch, sending him flying into the sky. Then, after chasing him down, lands another attack, then another, before unleashing a flurry of punches on him. Goku reels back and lands one final decisive kick that sends his opponent flying across the battlefield, and now He plans to end this as he puts his hands together to charge a Kamehameha, saying, "Let's get this over with." As his opponent flies in the air, Goku takes aim and prepares a Neo Kamehameha at the defenseless alien, and in one of those signature Young Gigi shots, releases his attack and completely obliterates this threat from the realm of the living. In an enormous explosion, the battle finally comes to an end as Goku looks on and reverts back to his base form out of Super Saiyan 5. Vegeta appears beside him, saying that, looking at him, it seems Goku still isn't completely satisfied. No, I'm not, Goku tells him. Not at all. I really enjoyed it though. You're not gonna make me eat that, Vegeta replies. You only use about 10% of your power as a Super Saiyan 5, right? So you notice, Goku says. In reality, even with your Super Saiyan 4, you could have gotten rid of it. But you wanted to push it to its limits, so you decided to switch to Super Saiyan 5, I'm assuming? Well, yeah, you could say that, Goku says. Shortly thereafter, Goku and Vegeta return to King Kai's planet. You did a good job, Goku, King Kai tells him. Goku replies, saying that it was an excellent exercise. But finally, we don't know more about who this guy really was. After all this time, I guess there really is no one left to fight with you two on equal terms, King Kai says. With Goku now the strongest warrior in their universe, the world finally knew eternal peace. Is what we could say, but in reality, it's never really quite that simple now, is it? Because Goku and his friends don't imagine for one moment that in a few months, an enemy as terrible as they are powerful will come to shake the world in its peace. One that they would never have expected to invade their solitude. In chapter 21 of Dragon Ball AF, we officially start the legendary Super Saiyan saga as an unprecedented fear and despair is about to hit this world and change everything. Now that the threat of the new Shadow Dragons has been neutralized and Goku, Gohan, and Pan have all returned back to the world of the living, Universe 7 entered a period of peace yet again. Goku and Vegeta soon thereafter would confront another threat far off in the northern galaxy, but even after absorbing Vegeta's power, this being was no match for Super Saiyan 5 Goku. Now, things have finally gone back to normal, at least for a time, but little do the Z Fighters know, the greatest threat they will ever face will be a lot more familiar to them than they realize. A few months after the battle with Spoitz, Goku and Vegeta were spending their days as usual, training to their heart's content in the mountains. Nothing is necessarily out of the ordinary here, as things look as typical as ever before. Goku and Vegeta, no matter the situation, will always push each other to be better, to be stronger. And real quick, eventually we do have to do something about Goku getting his regular body back. It's been too long at this point. The two separate before getting back into it, and this is when Vegeta states that, as he thought, it's frustrating that they can't go all out here. Goku says that he figured Vegeta would say that, so this is why he asked Supreme Kai for something special. I asked him to create a special place for training that won't get destroyed even if we go all out, Goku continues. Is that even possible, Vegeta asks? To which Goku replies that he doesn't know how difficult it is, but surely it's not impossible to do. How about we go there now? Goku teleports them to the planet of the Kais, where Elder Kai tells them that the thing he asked for is ready to go. As expected from you, old Kai. Thanks for doing it so fast, Goku says. This is when Kibito Kai presents a large orb in his hands. Inside this sphere, Elder Kai explains, is a special world completely cut off from the mortal realm. No matter how wildly you fight in there, you don't have to worry about it getting destroyed. You can go all out and do whatever you want. I get it now, Vegeta says. It's like the room of spirit and time. Surely we can train without having to hold back in that world. Well then, let's get moving, Vegeta, Goku says, as they finally get a place where they can truly push each other. While they were absorbed in this other dimension where they could both assume their Super Saiyan 5 forms and really go all out, a new threat was quickly approaching the Earth, one the Z Fighters would never expect. I wonder if the new Saiyans are on that planet, one of them says, as the other confirms that they can't wait to see just what kind of Saiyans they are. Alright, Let's have some fun. As these three land on Earth and exit the ship, they state that their mission now is to go and find the new Saiyans. It's a big planet, the woman with them says. Hey Naz, got any idea on how to find them? This is when Naz responds that if you just follow the ones with strong energies, you'll eventually meet them, insinuating that they also know how to sense key signatures. Over there, Naz says as he points to his left, I feel a strong energy. Well, there's still some time left until the legendary Super Saiyan is born, so let's take our time and find them. Over in a nearby city, Goten is busy handing out flyers saying that it's tiring work, but his wife and child are waiting for him at home, so he has to work hard for them. Suddenly, the three Saiyans descend behind him as Goku turns around asking them if they'd like him to recommend some Hoi Poi capsules. Naz smirks as Goten can sense something's off. He nervously asks if there's something else they're looking for. I heard there are Saiyans on this planet. Do you know anything about them? Saiyans? Goten asks as he looks like he's seen a ghost as he takes a closer look at them. A tail, he says as he finally starts to recognize what's going on. You got a tail. That means you're a Saiyan too, he stammers. Oh, so you know about the Saiyans, Naz asks. That's right, we three are Saiyans. No way, Goten says. I thought the only Saiyans alive were my dad and Vegeta. Dad? Naz replies. So your father is a Saiyan? Yeah, right, Goten replies. But what do you Saiyans want on this planet? Don't tell me you're here to destroy the Earth. No, don't worry, Naz tells him. We're not interested in that. Our goal is very simple. We just want to fight someone strong. Any fellow Saiyans would understand this feeling. The reason is that we heard that there were Saiyans on this planet. That's why we came all the way over here. If your father is a Saiyan, that means that you're a Saiyan too. That would explain why your energy is higher than the others. Anyway, Goten goes on, just to make sure, you guys aren't here to destroy the planet, right? Naz replies that he assures him they're just there to fight someone strong. He doesn't seem like a bad guy to me, Goten thinks to himself. Neither does their ki feel weirdly strong either. Looks like they've actually come to this planet to satisfy their Saiyan fighting instincts. Alright, he finally says. You don't seem like bad people to me, and you've come from far away, so I'll let you meet my dad. Oh, I'm so glad to hear this. Thank you so much, Naz says. We then cut over to Capsule Corp as Naz and the other Saiyans sit on a couch. Hey, Goten, Trunks says. What are you doing here in the middle of work? No, actually, Mr. President, these people are Saiyans, Goten tells him. What? Saiyans, he says, shocked. What are these Saiyans doing on Earth? They apparently want to fight our dads, Goten tells him. They didn't come here to destroy the world, they only want to fight a strong opponent. I'm very excited to see how strong they are. Our dads are out on a training session right now, so could you wait here for a while? Oh, is that so? No problem, Naz replies. Now, since we're waiting for them, if you don't mind, could you tell us a little bit about yourselves? How are you guys alive? Aren't the Saiyans supposed to be extinct? I heard that the Saiyans were destroyed by Frieza. Ah, those Saiyans are different ones from us. Different Saiyans, Trunks asks. Right. Let's say you all are called New Saiyans, Naz explains. So that would make us the Old Saiyans. Long ago, there was a conflict between the Old Saiyans and the New Saiyans because of their different ways of thinking. The Old Saiyans were a species that just enjoyed fighting. The New Saiyans were divided into a race that sought to interact with other species. After a mutual disagreement, a few of the Old Saiyans became completely independent, left the planet, and began establishing a new civilization. Those Old Saiyans were our ancestors. We're their descendants. We Old Saiyans have been fighting the strong, one after another, just to get stronger without making any other interactions. We too had been driven to the brink of extinction as our population dwindled due to numerous battles. Then, I remembered the legendary story. The legendary story? Could it be about the Super Saiyan, Goten asks? Yes, Nas replies. So you guys too know that the legendary Super Saiyan is about to be born. What? Goten and Trunks say in tandem, as it seems like their understanding of the Saiyan of legend is far different from the old Saiyans. That's what the Super Saiyan is, isn't it, Goten? Trunks asks. Yeah, he replies. I think these guys can't turn Super Saiyan. Actually, Goten says to them as he turns around, we can become Super Saiyans. No way, Nas says excitedly, because Super Saiyans are, and this is when both Goten and Trunks transform simultaneously. However, something is wrong here. This is the Super Saiyan you talk about, right? Goten asks, but Nas and the other Saiyans look at each other confused. Nope, that's not Super Saiyan, he says. What do you mean it's not? Well, your energies certainly seem a lot higher than before. That means you're not the legendary Super Saiyan though. Maybe you don't know the story of the legendary Super Saiyan, am I right, Nas asks? If you listen to the story of the legendary Super Saiyan's birth, you'll know that this is not a Super Saiyan. We certainly haven't heard much about the legendary Super Saiyan, Goten admits. The reason you new Saiyans don't know about the untold story of the birth of the legendary Super Saiyans is because it was passed down to the old Saiyans. The reason that form you're in isn't the legendary Super Saiyan is because, in order to become the legendary Super Saiyan, there must be a certain something. What is that, Trunks asks. The moon, he says. The moon, Goten says. Yes, the moon. First of all, the term legendary Super Saiyan means that only one appears in 1,000 years. Only once in 1,000 years, the moon emits a special light that allows you to become a Super Saiyan for as long as you're bathed in its light. Once that special light is gone, he reverts back to his original form. That's how the legendary Super Saiyan was born several hundred years ago. That's why you're not Super Saiyan or anything. The Saiyans, a fighting race, evolved their appearance in response to their opponents and their environment. We call it adaptive evolution. Your evolution is different from ours, but we Saiyans evolve purely out of instinct, you know? As long as we have a strong opponent, we can evolve as much as we want. I think you can understand what I'm talking about. We're still evolving. As long as we have strong enemies in a harsh environment, we can become infinitely stronger. To be honest, we've gotten too strong. There are no strong men left in our vicinity. That's when I remembered about the legendary Super Saiyans and that there are survivors among the new Saiyans. So I wanted to come here and fight you guys. Do you understand now, he finishes? Well, that's a totally different story from the one we Saiyans know, Goten replies. So, why do you seek so many strong opponents, Trunks asks. Nas looks lost that he would even ask a question like that. The only meaning of life for a Saiyan is to fight. The only thing that makes our life worth living is to feel stronger and more stimulated. As expected, the woman chimes in, the new Saiyans think very differently than we do. So, don't you guys feel that your life is worth living when you're fighting against someone strong? Well, Goten starts. Maybe our dads have that feeling, but more than fighting, we'd like to live peacefully with our family and the people we love. What? Live with the people you love, Nas says, confused. It's strange to think that something like that can make your life worth living. We don't understand these values at all. I never thought there was anything more important than fighting. Well, the old and new Saiyans had a conflict because they didn't have the same values, so this can't be helped. I don't know. I have mixed feelings, Goten says. By the way, Trunks states, if the legendary Super Saiyan is going to appear soon, as you say, that means Earth's moon emits that special light? Exactly, Nas replies. Technically speaking, the legendary Super Saiyan was born about 560 years ago. It hasn't been 1,000 years since that day, but each of the various planets have their own moon. The cycle of light emissions changes according to its stars. In other words, the Earth's moon will soon be 1,000 years old. So, we're waiting for that light to go off at any moment. I see, Goten says. If one of us, or one of the Saiyans here, emerges as a legendary Super Saiyan, I want to fight them no matter what, Nas says. If I'm not mistaken, Didn't the legend say that the legendary Super Saiyan likes blood and fighting? Trunks asked. If something like that is born, it's gonna be trouble. I guess we should inform Gohan about this in any case. If that legendary Super Saiyan shows up, it's gonna be a story that will take the world by storm. Hello? Goten, what's up? Gohan asks, as we then go over to he and Videl's house in the south. What? He says, son, as he can't believe what Goten is telling him. Is this story true? Looks like it's gonna be a messy situation again, Goten tells him. We need to hurry up and get in touch with Dad and Vegeta, Gohan replies. For some reason, Goten tells him, I don't feel their ki at all. I don't know where exactly they're training at. Mom said she's pretty sure he went off to train with Vegeta, but anyway, I think they'll come back in a while. Well, I hope it doesn't get too messy until Dad and Vegeta get back. Yeah, I hope so too, Goten agrees. So, to summarize, Goten begins after getting off the phone with Gohan. Your goal is to fight my dad and Vegeta, correct? Yes, I want to see how the new Saiyans have evolved. Well, like I said, right now my dad and Vegeta are out of touch, so I'm sure they'll be back here in a while, but in the meantime, how about you fight us? Trunks doesn't know if this is such a good idea, but it's too late. Goten has already piqued the interest of the old Saiyans, with Naz saying that he'd love to. It's alright, Trunks, Goten says. These people just genuinely like to fight. They have no ill will. In fact, you don't get a bad feeling from them at all, do you? Besides, I'm interested to see their evolution too. Alright, let's go to a better location then, Goten says as they prepare to find somewhere more appropriate for a fight. They take off and find a wasteland somewhere as Goten stops and says that this should be good enough since nobody is around here. So they head to the ground. A vast wasteland far away from civilization that should prove sufficient enough for them. I'm sure it won't be a problem to go all out here, Goten says. By the way, I'm not sensing much energy from you guys. Have you been holding back, he asks. That's right, Naz replies as he gets ready to release his real strength. To avoid wasting any energy, I'll release a little for starters. But this little amount that Naz lets go is an explosion of power that neither of them was expecting. His hair gets longer and even changes colors as well, as Goten and Trunks are shocked by this explosive ki. This is the transformation of the ancient Saiyans, something that no one up until this point has ever seen, and may even rival that of Super Saiyan 4 and possibly Super Saiyan 5. Amazing. That's the most powerful ki I've ever felt, Goten states, pretty much all but confirming this form is at least stronger than Super Saiyan 4. His hair turned purple, Trunks notes. I've never seen a transformation like that before. Well then, you should transform too so we can see which evolution is stronger, Naz says, waiting for Goten to join him. Suddenly, Gohan drops everything as this massive ki sends a shockwave through his body saying, what? This tremendous ki. Could it be that Goten and those guys are fighting? He said they weren't bad Saiyans. Then what the hell is going on? Dad, Pan says as she rushes down the steps. This ki. Pan, when Dad and Vegeta get back, I want you to go and tell them what's going on, Gohan says as he realizes that he needs to go before something terrible happens. Back at the battlefield, Goten urges himself to realize this is no time to hold back, not against a ki like this, so he has to go all out from the start. Goten transforms into a Super Saiyan 2 from the start, which briefly surprises the Saiyans because he only showed them the first Super Saiyan form before. Your energy is much higher than before, Naz notes. Is that your full power? Goten confirms as we finally get to see what these ancient Saiyans are all about. Goten charges at the Saiyan as the fight finally kicks off, but the first punch is easily dodged. He pushes Goten's arm and then goes for a counterattack. He punches Goten and sends him flying backwards, and before he can catch himself, Naz appears behind him. He kicks him into the air and then again instantly appears above Goten and behind his back before violently sending him back to the ground, creating a massive crater and firmly cementing what we already assumed was the massive gap between these two. Goten, however, is a lot tougher than the Saiyans thought and instantly makes his way back into the sky. I couldn't see any of his attacks at all, Goten says. Maybe I've been slacking off a bit too much on my training. Perhaps this really isn't your limit, right? Naz says, impressed, as Goten agrees, saying, who knows? If that's all you got, then you're just wasting your time, Naz says, however. If you got something up your sleeve though, I suggest you use it while you can. Well, I've been underestimated a lot of times, Goten says, as Trunks watches on intently, but something isn't right here. Goten has to know that at his current level, he's no match for this guy, so charging in again like he did is careless, but he does it anyway. He unleashes a flurry of punches on the Saiyan, who easily dodges all of his attacks again, making Goten look like an absolute weakling. Even Trunks notices that this guy's speed is insane. Not a single one of Goten's attacks can connect. Smooth and fluid movements. These guys are very experienced in combat. We obviously aren't as experienced as them, as we've been skipping out on training lately instead of making sure we have a fighting chance. Regrettably, we're not even close to being able to compete with them. It seems Naz has had enough playing around with Goten, as he says that, well, it looks like this is all he can do. How disappointing. I came all the way here from another galaxy and was insanely excited to see what you Saiyans could do. I'm disappointed that this is all you have to offer. An exhausted Goten, still thinking this is a friendly sparring match, concedes that this guy is insanely stronger than him and gives up. Amazing. I can't even feel my body moving right now, he starts, as Naz goes on to make a move that will shock everyone. He appears in front of Goten and strikes him through the torso, impaling him with a punch. Trunks gasps as he doesn't understand what or why this just happened. They were supposed to just be sparring, but all of a sudden he lands a fatal strike on Goten. Goten stammers, asking, why did he do this? Naz rips his arm out of his torso and tosses Goten to the side as Trunks goes to catch him, begging him to stand up. He demands to know why Naz just did that. Wasn't this just a sparring match? Why did you do this out of nowhere? But Naz gives a chilling reply, asking what Trunks is so angry about. Isn't this what fighting is all about? What? Trunks asks. This is not what you do in sparring. This isn't always a fight to the death. Naz is even more confused by these Saiyans now, as he tells Trunks, for Saiyans, sparring is just to decide who's stronger and who's weaker. So, why shouldn't the weaker one die? That's a weird thing to say. He even starts to lick the blood off of his fist as Trunks starts to tremble, wondering just what the hell these guys are. Even the other two look confused by his reaction. Deep down, I wonder about our thoughts. Their values of fighting are too different from ours. They have no emotion. They fight purely to know whether they're stronger than their opponent. They have no fear or hesitation. These guys are truly maniacs, he says, as chapter 21 of Dragon Ball AF and the beginning of a new saga come to a shocking end. After the battle against Eyes, the new Shadow Dragons, and the alien Spoitz, the Earth finally re-entered a period of peace. However, as long as Goku and the others are around, peace won't last forever. Something to keep in mind. This brings us to the arrival of the ancient Saiyans, Naz, Grippy, and Boca. The Saiyans appeared in front of Goten, and as they spoke, Goten understood that they just wanted to fight. But with the tremendous difference in power between them, Goten was ultimately defeated. An unprecedented crisis comes to Earth, and this is just the beginning. In the previous chapter, after confronting the ancient Saiyans, Goten and Trunks would take them to a barren wasteland where they can spar. Naz would undergo a very odd transformation that resembled a Super Saiyan form. However, his hair would turn purple. This new form turned out to be quite a bit to handle for Goten, and eventually, Naz would pierce him through the torso, nearly killing him. As Trunks holds Goten's limp body in his hands, he knows he has to get out of here ASAP if Goten has any chance of survival after an injury like that. I really can't understand it, Trunks says. This is the first time I've seen someone like you. What can I tell you, Naz replies. You were saying that you live in search of strong people, and after so many fights, you met someone who didn't like to fight, and this is how you react? Naz is still confused, however, not understanding what the big deal is. In addition to being strange, you also ask strange questions, he remarks. But in answering your question, even if it is against your will, you will be willing to fight, won't you? You will do everything to survive. The other person's will and circumstances don't matter. That's being a Saiyan. So in short, I have to fight, Trunks says, with Naz replying, exactly, the weak don't matter. But I also want to know, he goes on, that person, why do you hold him? Speaking of Goten's body, it's no longer useful for anything, is it? It'll end up being in the way. Better throw it away, he says. Trunks is distraught as he knows there's no way he can outrun these guys, but he has to think of some way to at least protect Goten's body. However, before he can react, Goten is swiped from his hands. What? All of a sudden, he looks up and sees that Goten's been tossed into the air. Naz has launched his body into the air, takes aim, and as Trunks can do nothing but look on, he launches a blast. Trunks tries to protect his brother, but he isn't quick enough, and if Goten wasn't dead before, he definitely is now, after being blown to pieces. Trunks is stunned, frozen by his own inability to protect his lifelong friend, as Naz shows a satisfied, primitive look on his face. I can't believe someone like this exists, Trunks says. You can move around easier now, right? Naz asks. Now we're ready to fight. Do you understand? Trunks, trembling with rage now, vows that he'll never forgive them as Naz asks why he's so angry. I've helped you remove that obstacle out of your way. But this absolutely sends Trunks spiraling as his power explodes and he transforms. Not into a Super Saiyan 2, but to the surprise of the ancient Saiyans, Trunks takes on the Super Saiyan 3 form, swearing that he'll destroy them with all his might. This is awesome, Naz replies. You have way more energy than the guy from before. The new Saiyans seem to turn their anger into power. I'm so excited about this. Over in the nearby city, Gohan is racing to the battlefield as he can feel a seismic shift in ki. Goten's ki. And now, Trunks' ki has grown by a lot. What's happening over there, he thinks to himself. I have to go faster. Back at the battlefield, Super Saiyan 3 Trunks and Naz get ready to go head to head as Trunks charges at his opponent. Naz easily stops his first attack though, with Trunks barely able to save his head from being knocked off by a single punch from the ancient Saiyan. Fortunately though, Trunks seems to at least be doing marginally better than Goten at staying alive. At least for now, as he blocks incoming attacks, but unfortunately isn't able to land anything himself. As these two trade blows, shockwaves can be seen throughout the sky and the very wasteland below them begins to crumble. Boca and Grippy watch amazed from the ground below as Grippy even verbally expresses how impressed she is by the new Saiyans. All of a sudden, Trunks lands a few devastating punches on Naz and then kicks him across the battlefield. As he backflips and catches himself, Trunks prepares a massive finish buster to finish this battle and launches it at the ancient Saiyan. Naz puts his hands out to catch it and tries to send it back as the attack explodes in his hands. When the smoke clears, Naz is still standing. However, he's extremely impressed by Trunks' new power, saying that he certainly surprised him. I'm excited to see how far you can go, he says. After all, it's gonna be a good battle. Well, what if we increase our powers a little more, he goes on. I'm asking you now. Don't disappoint me. Naz starts powering up even more beyond his prior transformation as his power soars beyond what was previously thought possible. His hair becomes much sharper and his ki becomes more pronounced. Naz has released even more of the ancient Saiyan's power, showing off what seems to be, as of right now at least, the true forms of their race. Well, let's get on with this now, he says, as even though Trunks might have gained a slight upper hand before, this new transformation has significantly powered him up. How much power does this guy have? Naz instantly appears in front of Trunks and decks him with a punch to the face that sends him soaring across the skies. Then, he appears above him and sends him crashing back into the earth with a punch to the gut. He drives Trunks into the earth and then creates a massive ball of ki above them. Naz looks to end this, slamming the giant attack into Trunks, who's pinned into the ground, and eviscerates him where he lies. His attack creates a massive crater in the ground as Trunks struggles to maintain consciousness and reverts back to his base form. What a pity, Naz admits. I thought you'd hold on longer. If you can't move, it's inevitable, he says as he looks to finish this and then raises his hand into the air. He says a final farewell to Trunks and throws a devastating punch. However, this is when someone stops his punch by catching his fist. It's Gohan. Who the hell are you, Naz asks, as Gohan goes over to Trunks and apologizes for being late. I went to go get sensu beans, he says as he gives one to Trunks, and within seconds, Trunks is back on his feet. What a surprise, Naz says, shocked that Trunks was healed so easily. You got your energy back. What a strange thing. Trunks, Gohan says. What's going on here? Where's Goten, he asks. Trunks instantly breaks down in tears as he reluctantly tells Gohan that Goten actually died. What? How? Gohan asks. Naz cuts in. That's right. It's just that I had no interest at all. My only purpose is to fight against the strong. I don't care about the weak. His mind works totally different from ours, Trunks tells Gohan. He has no feelings. He only attacks his targets. He attacked Goten when he wasn't even fighting. He didn't stand a chance. When he stopped moving, it became just a piece of meat that interfered in the fight, Naz explains. So I took it out. I don't care about this nonsense, but tell me, with that tail, you're a Saiyan too, right? He asks. Gohan is struggling to contain his rage right now as Naz admits that he's able to sense an absurdly large power coming from him. Out of all this rubbish, you're the best. Now I get it. Shut your mouth, Gohan growls as he begins to undergo his transformation. He instantly releases power hard to fathom by even the ancient Saiyans, as in the blink of an eye, after learning about his brother's murder, Gohan transforms into a Super Saiyan 5. At the sight of this new power, the ancient Saiyans, specifically Naz, have found the Holy Grail. Wow, that's the kind of power I'm looking for, he says excitedly. I've been waiting for this. It's been worth it to come all this way, he goes on, but in the middle of his excitement, Gohan lands a crushing punch to the face before he's able to even react. The spectators are shocked at not only how strong, but how fast Gohan has gotten as Naz is sent tumbling backwards. Naz gets back to his feet and erupts in excitement as he claims that he is the best. Oh yes, you are unbelievable. I couldn't even react. It's been a long time since I met someone so strong, he says excitedly. I'm really surprised how strong these new Saiyans are, Grippy says, as she and Gohan spectate from above. Very interesting. After a long time, I think I can finally give it my all too. Here we go. Let's follow our hearts and get carried away. Naz begins releasing the full extent of his power and transforming once more. This transformation, however, is far different from any power they felt before. As Naz's power erupts, Gohan looks on, waiting for him to assume his final form. This new transformation that Naz undergoes looks a lot like their version of Super Saiyan 4, however, as his fur grows wildly all over his body. This is for real, he declares. We're gonna have a lot of fun, new Saiyan. I'll never forgive you, Gohan says as he readies himself. Super Saiyan 5 versus the true power of the ancient Saiyans. The final showdown is moments away from taking place between the new evolution and the ancient power of the warrior race. And Goku and Vegeta are still nowhere to be found. In the return of Dragon Ball AF, I hope you guys are just as excited as me to not only see this clash, but with the moon about to emit the special light, hopefully see the birth of the true legendary Super Saiyan. Showing the crushing power of the ancient Saiyans, Goten and Trunks were swiftly defeated, and Goten even killed. Fortunately, before Trunks could meet the same fate, Gohan shows up and saves him. Faced by a desperate situation, Gohan was obliged to intervene in the fight. With that, Naz was even more excited with a new, stronger opponent in front of him now. Now, the clash between the different species of Saiyans is about to begin. Super Saiyan 5 versus the ancient Super Saiyan is what I'm calling it, at least. Naz begins stretching and cracking his knuckles as Gohan watches on. And now, the true battle finally begins. Naz readies himself and charges at Gohan. Gohan blocks the first attack, or so it seems like, but Naz stops short of actually punching him, fakes him out, and then lands a kick to his face. Naz throws another kick, but Gohan is actually able to block it this time. He grabs Naz by the leg and tosses him across the battlefield. Naz backflips and catches himself, but when he looks, Gohan is already above him and throws a punch that barely misses and destroys the ground below, creating an enormous shockwave across the wasteland. He then appears behind Naz again, who had taken to the air to avoid Gohan's attack, and when he turns around, is met by another punch. Gohan kicks him into the sky again, as it's looking increasingly apparent that Super Saiyan 5 may be enough to save them here, and continues to combo his opponent across the battlefield and back into the ground below. "These new Saiyans are awesome," Grippy says from the sidelines. "I want you to fight me next time," with Boca agreeing. Gohan descends back down to the ground and raises his hands above his head. He fires a limit breaker Masenko at the spot where Naz was launched, and it causes a massive explosion that illuminates the wasteland. When the smoke clears, although Gohan seems to have the upper hand, Naz steps out, saying, "I must say, I'm thrilled. It's been a long time since I met someone at my level." Even Trunks seems to have regained faith that maybe now that Gohan is here, they won't suffer any more casualties and they can bring Goten back sooner than they thought. Gohan, as we know, has never been one to enjoy fighting, so he'd rather put an end to this sooner than later. "Do you want to already put an end to our fun?" Naz asks. "You new Saiyans are very different." Round 2 begins as these two charge at each other and trade crushing punches as they show how equal they may truly be right now. The force from their clash sends shockwaves throughout the desert as all of the spectators are nearly blown away. The two Saiyans engage in one of those Budokai Tenkaichi style clashes throughout the skies. Gohan would eventually notice that Naz is moving more precise than before. In this short period of time, he's already adapted to my movements. If this continues like this, I'll be at a disadvantage. "I'll do everything to win," Gohan declares as he powers up another attack. He charges up a punch and flawlessly delivers the blow to Naz, who's nearly knocked out from it. But Gohan isn't done here. He fires off a devastating combo, trying his best to break Naz down, and once he's on the back foot, Gohan charges the finishing blow. He prepares a special beam cannon, declaring that this will be the end. He fires the special beam cannon that rips through the skies towards his opponent. Naz can barely contain his look of excitement as the other Saiyans watching are blinded by the attack. Through the smoke, however, the unthinkable is shown. Naz seems to have tanked Gohan's strongest attack and wasn't even pierced by it, while having the audacity to claim that he's dying. He then goes into a manic rant, saying that this feeling he's getting from this battle is why he can never stop fighting. And then it happens. Naz's power begins to boil over from the excitement of a life and death battle where he isn't the clear victor, being forced to his very limits by Gohan. His ki grows more vicious as the other Saiyans watch on excitedly for him to break his limits. Naz's ki erupts into something that can only be described at this point as dreadful, as his entire transformation takes on another mutation. Naz's new transformation looks more feral than the last, as his true power finally shines through. I love this feeling of power, he says, impressed with his own transformation. Each time, more and more power. I'm almost overriding. Unfortunately, it seems that Gohan was the trigger for him to awaken, and now he's evolved into something far more dangerous than before. I'm so happy that I broke all my limits, Nas says. I feel like now there's nothing I can't do. What a bunch of guys, Trunks comments. They only live for combat. Let's go, Nas says, eager to test his new strength. Let me show you what I can do. He charges at Super Saiyan 5 Gohan and throws a kick that he's barely able to dodge as Gohan blocks his next attack. The two engage in another back and forth, and Gohan is able to hold his own at first, until Nas grabs him by the face and slams him into the ground below like something Broly would do. However, before he's able to do any serious damage, Gohan responds by releasing an enormous amount of ki to separate the two. He then launches himself out of the ground and fires back at Nas, ending in another earth-shattering clash of fists. Gohan meets him with a punch, to which Nas returns one of his own, as these two engage in one of the most dramatic back and forths of all time. No one has the clear upper hand, but at the very least, one of these parties is having the time of their lives. Very good, Nas says, as with every attack thrown, he enjoys it more and more. Well, I think you're finally starting to catch your breath, Nas says, as Gohan is the first to start showing clear signs of fatigue now. Now that I've evolved, I'll have a little more fun, he says. Nas gathers a large amount of ki in both of his hands and merges them together, almost in his own Kamehameha-esque style of technique. Gohan begins charging his own Kamehameha to counter this attack, as this next clash may actually decide the victor with the amount of ki that they're about to expend here. The two Saiyans put the majority of their remaining ki in these two final attacks as Nas releases his raging tornado. Gohan returns fire with the Limit Breaker Super Kamehameha as these two attacks rip through the sky and clash in a massive explosion of powerful ki. Nas is having the time of his life fighting Gohan, while Gohan is fighting for his. And through it all, Nas still has more to give. He expels a massive amount of ki and obliterates Gohan in one final push. Trunks is stunned that the power of Super Saiyan 5 has been overwhelmed, as Nas admits that even he's surprised by the outcome of this encounter. When the smoke clears, Gohan is still standing. However, he's spent the majority of his energy and has reverted back to his base form. Oops. Looks like you're back to normal, Nas says after realizing Gohan is powerless now. I've been trying to reduce the power. Your ki went down there? Is it over already? Killing someone like you like that would be a waste. Won't you evolve a little bit more too, he asks? I thought you guys were powered up by anger. We can try. We'll see. Now, how can I do this? Nas wonders to himself. What will make you angry? Well, let's try some different options. Gohan powers back up to Super Saiyan with the remaining strength that he has left to defend himself. Nas continues attacking him, but just punishing Gohan isn't good enough to push him into a new evolution. No matter how much pain he endures, this isn't his trigger. It never has been. Trunks helplessly can only look on, especially since he himself has already been defeated by Nas, as Gohan is pummeled and sent crashing into the ground. Nas lands in front of him and walks towards him, saying that, I don't think the pain is gonna help here. But then, this is when he remembers something significant from earlier on during his battle with Trunks. The true trigger for the new Saiyans. The pain of loss is the true cause of rage that pushes them beyond their limits. This is what happened when Trunks went berserk Super Saiyan 3 after the death of Goten. So this is when he appears in front of Trunks, as Gohan can only watch helplessly as Naz pierces Trunks through the stomach. Again, another Z fighter falls to the ancient Saiyans, as Naz begun with killing Goten and now Trunks in the same exact way, saying, "Trunks doesn't interest him anymore. Your death is for the greater good." After not being able to save either of them, Gohan's anger erupts like never before after being forced to watch Trunks die, as the feelings he felt when Pan was murdered in front of him tear to the forefront. However, with what the ancient Saiyans may have just awakened can never be undone, just like with the birth of Super Saiyan 5. In chapter 24 of Dragon Ball AF, a new transformation beyond Super Saiyan 5 is about to be born. So if you guys have been enjoying the story of Dragon Ball AF, let me know your favorite arc so far down below in the comments. Be sure to leave a like on this video for more. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying the story. Subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you never miss a Dragon Ball upload in the future. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, my boys. The death of Trunks just changed everything. After failing to make it in time to save Goten, Gohan instantly underwent his Super Saiyan 5 form and attacked Naz. Initially, the power of Super Saiyan 5 gave Gohan a clear edge, but after being pushed past his limits due to that very strength from Gohan, Naz unleashed his true potential, transforming him again. Now, after outlasting Gohan and exhausting him to the point of returning back to base form, Naz wants Gohan to keep evolving with him since he's never fought anybody like him before. Just beating up on him won't do it though. So this is when Naz remembers how much Trunks' power skyrocketed after being enraged about Goten dying. So this is when, to trigger Gohan the same way, Naz kills Trunks. This would send Gohan into a blind rage, as we've seen time and time again how significant emotions are to a Saiyan's evolution. "I thought I'd taken it easy, but you're too fragile," Naz comments, licking Trunks' blood off his hands. Gohan's power erupts as tears fall down his face. The other Saiyans are almost blown away by his explosion of power, as in one final flash, Gohan's new evolution finally finishes. "Amazing," Naz says. "Then this is your true power." Even Grippy and Boga can't hold back their excitement as Gohan's new form is finally born. This is Super Saiyan 6 Gohan, a form that kinda looks like Daima Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta or even Ultra Ego. This guy Gohan really does have endless potential. "As I thought," Naz says. "It seems you were also hiding your full potential. That's the greatest pleasure of being a Saiyan, isn't it? Let's go. Now I'm going with everything I have," he goes on. Naz begins powering up even more to the surprise of even the other Saiyans. However, Gohan is unfazed. Even after breaking the limits of the true strength of the ancient Saiyans, Gohan is unrattled. Naz seems to be getting really excited, Grippy calls out, with Boca agreeing, saying he's looking forward to this next clash. "Let's move on to the final round," Naz says to Gohan. "Now that we've awakened our true powers," he readies himself as Gohan's expression remains unchanged, and then he charges at him. But before Naz can move from the very spot he was preparing, he's met with a back fist that nearly one hit KOs him, as the other Saiyans stand shocked at what just happened. Gohan, before any of them could react, devastates Naz with a punch, sending him stumbling backwards. As he flies through the air, Gohan appears above him and drives him into the ground with a knee to the head. Gohan then goes on to continue pummeling Naz with another combo of punches that sends him flying. As Naz tumbles across the wasteland, he struggles to get back to his feet, as before he can, Gohan appears in front of him again. Gohan kicks him into the air, and while he's vulnerable, hits him point blank with a blast. Gohan, giving just a glimpse of his new power, unleashes a blast so devastating that it looks like a nuclear explosion went off on the battlefield. Naz somehow is still standing though, even after taking an attack like that at point blank. "This is it," he says, trembling. "It seems that his power was overwhelmingly greater than mine after all," he admits. "It seems that my limit has been reached now. I wanted to enjoy this more, but..." All of a sudden, Naz collapses from exhaustion and goes back to his base form. When he hits the ground, however, Grippy steps in and kicks him out of the way. "I must say, I'm surprised," she says, stepping up to Gohan next. "You are incredibly strong, aren't you? Would you like to play with me now?" she says provocatively. "I'm sure it'll be fun." Gohan wonders why she treated her comrade in that way, asking, "Aren't you guys friends?" She answers that friends aren't friends when they can't move anymore though. "I don't care about family or friends," she admits. "The only thing that interests us is fighting." This is when Grippy finally releases her power as well. However, she's been holding back too, and it's probably safe to assume the same of Boca as well. Grippy undergoes a transformation of her own as she reveals her primal ancient Saiyan transformation too. Now, she gets to cut loose as well against somebody worthy of their real strength. "I'll start by saying it won't be as easy to defeat me as Naz," she mentions. "I'll make sure I harness your power to the fullest." She charges at Gohan and takes a swipe at his face, however he easily dodges it. She tries time and time again to just land a single hit on Gohan, but it's just not happening. Gohan is far beyond their league at this point. Plus, she hasn't awakened yet like Naz either. Gohan lands a crushing punch to her stomach that creases her over and sends her flying across the battlefield. He chases her down, zips above her, and drops an elbow on her from above that plants her into the ground, creating a massive crater. Gohan then fires a beam at her from right over her body that engulfs the entire crater of where she was sent and ignites a huge explosion. Grippy erupts out of the crater, however, after tanking that last attack. While showing signs of exhaustion already, it'd be hard to ignore the signs that, like Naz, she's having the time of her life fighting Gohan, saying how much of a thrill this all is. "Okay, let's continue," she says to the still expressionless Gohan. She fires a beam back at him, but Gohan easily evades it by jumping. This gives her the opening she needs, or at least she thought, to catch him off guard. Grippy appears above him and tries to land a punch. However, Gohan blocks her again and goes on to dodge all of her punches and kicks. He ducks under another one of her punches, and then Gohan returns fire with a knee to her ribs. As she stumbles, Gohan hits her with another punch to the gut that nearly brings her to her knees. "Give up. You have no chance of winning," Gohan tells her. "Continuing is a waste of time." "You want me to give up?" she asks. "What are you saying? I don't understand the meaning of your words. There's no way a Saiyan would pass up such a great opportunity like this." She then goes on a pretty provocative monologue telling Gohan that she's almost there, so just keep... Yeah, young Gigi, you guys can even tell by the panel a little bit, he was going kind of crazy right here. Think he might have forgot for a second that this is Dragon Ball, not one of those type of mangas. These guys, we don't know what triggers their evolution, Gohan wonders to himself. I wonder what's the best way to deal with them. "Oh, what's the problem? Won't you attack me?" she asks as Gohan tries to get an understanding of what her plan might be here. She obviously has more power, but getting to it is her goal here. "Why are you so on guard?" she asks him. "I'm just kidding with you. If that's what you want, then I'll come to you." She lunges at Gohan from across the battlefield, but in his new Super Saiyan 6 form, nothing the ancient Saiyan seems to do has any effect on him. She tries to give it her best, but none of them have ever been able to land even a finger on Gohan since his evolution. He blocks her next punch, but then Gohan begins realizing that even though she hasn't had her breakthrough yet, she's adapting much quicker than Naz. He briefly disengages to take the flight to the air as she chases him down. What's wrong, she asks. You can't beat me if you keep taking hits like that. That's right, Gohan thinks to himself. We can't settle a match like that. No choice. I'll have to use a powerful attack to make her unable to fight. So Gohan charges his power and uses his real strength to kick her square in her midsection, sinking his foot into her. It nearly collapses her. However, Gohan isn't done yet, and while she's still struggling to regain composure, he chops her in the neck, knocking her out cold. Before she falls over, Gohan grabs her by the arm and tosses her up into the air. Gohan starts charging a celestial Kamehameha, and as her unconscious body flies through the sky, launches the massive attack at her, hoping to end this in one final blow. Boca watches on, wondering if she'll do it, or if this is where Grippy falls as well as Gohan launches his massive attack. He fires off with his true strength for the first time since transforming. The beam ripped towards Grippy and threatens to engulf her entirely without much effort. However, before she's decimated, her potential explodes. When her eyes fly open, Grippy undergoes the awakening of her true power in one final transformation. Much like Naz, her true potential finally breaks through. Even Gohan can't believe it, as this is the very thing he was trying to prevent. But it looks like he ended up playing right into her hands. When the smoke clears, Grippy's new transformation finally emerges. She can barely contain herself now that she truly feels so alive and free with her new true power awakened. Gohan's face remains as focused as ever though, as he awaits to see what this new form of hers is capable of. Over in the realm of the Kais, seems like everyone over here was having a good old time as Earth just fell apart. Gogeta Kai and Elder Kai step out of the training realm where Goku and Vegeta currently are. Elder Kai states that he doesn't understand how strong do these Saiyans need to get before they're satisfied. These two will probably fight like this until they die, Gogeta Kai admits. Suddenly, Gogeta Kai takes note of an incredibly large key, asking Elder Kai if he feels it as well. This energy is so great that it even reaches all the way out here to us? Immediately, Elder Kai summons the crystal ball and goes to see what's happening on Earth. This is when they notice that there's a fight happening, and whatever is going on here looks really intense. We haven't noticed, but it seems like we're in a very serious situation right now, Elder Kai admits. Gogeta Kai agrees that this is bad, and they need to contact Goku and the others right away. Goku and Vegeta are finally about to learn about the situation on Earth, and eventually meet the ancient Saiyans. But will they be able to arrive in time to do anything? And at this point, would they even be effective if they aren't at least as strong as Gohan? Stay tuned to see just how much their training for this entire arc so far has really paid off. And as if Grippy's evolution was resonating with Gohan's own, the situation wasn't about to get any better. In the last chapter of Dragon Ball AF, Super Saiyan 6 Gohan showed how soundly he was ahead of the ancient Saiyans even after their awakenings. However, Grippy seems different from Naz, a lot more feral in some ways. Over on the ground nearby, Naz finally regains consciousness and gets back to his feet. When he looks up into the sky, he's excited to see both Super Saiyan 6 Gohan and the awakened Grippy fighting at full power in the sky. When he sees Grippy, he can't help but be excited for her evolving into a new form as well. How is this gonna change the fight, he wonders. At this rate, I'm gonna get left behind. Before we move on, I want to thank you, she says to Gohan. Because of you, I've become so much stronger. Gohan just looks at her silently and expressionless as he had been this entire time. No matter how provocative she may get or how strong she becomes, he won't forgive them. She charges at Gohan again and throws another punch. This time the increase in her power is tangible to Gohan, as she seems to almost be getting stronger as time goes on. She's finally able to send him flying backwards, landing the first hit on Super Saiyan 6 Gohan. She flies above him and behind his back and then lands a crushing kick to his ribs. Then she twists and lands another hit. However, when she sends him flying backwards this time, Gohan uses his speed to evade her attack and then appears behind her this time. She turns around and blocks his punch, and giving him a little smirk as these two go on to clash and send shockwaves throughout the skies. Boca can't help but watch in awe as these two are pushing each other far past any limits previously thought possible. She's adapting at a frightening pace as she finally lands a solid punch on Gohan. As he's sent flying backwards through the air, Grippy fires a beam at him that winds around Gohan's body and then constricts him, stopping his movement. Grippy appears in front of him and she says that this is the perfect opportunity to give him a little extra. She starts striking the restrained Gohan, throwing uncontested punches and kicks trying to break him down. She lands one final kick that sends him tumbling across the battlefield. Grippy can barely contain herself with how excited she's getting fighting someone as strong as Gohan. Every time they think they've reached their potential, somehow they find a way to go even further beyond. Over in the Kai's realm, Elder Kai finally gets in contact with Goku and Vegeta while they're training. "What's going on, Elder Kai?" Goku asks as we see both he and Vegeta sparring in Super Saiyan 5. "Something really bad is happening on Earth right now," Elder Kai replies. Once they exit the training realm, he shows Goku and Vegeta the fight that's currently taking place through the crystal ball. "What kind of incredible key is this?" Vegeta asks, stunned. "Gohan looks completely different," Goku notes. "I've never seen him in this form before." "We don't know for how long or why, but it seems like he's been fighting these guys for a while now," Elder Kai replies. "You two must help him immediately." So, Goku and Vegeta head out as soon as they can. Back at the battlefield, Gohan, still restricted, looks like he's losing steam. But this is when he erupts out of the attack binding him, showing her that she's gonna have to do a lot better than that. All of a sudden, Goku and Vegeta appear in the middle of the battlefield thanks to Goku's instant transmission. Everyone is initially confused, especially Gohan when they just pop up, but Naz notices that they both have tails, so these must be the Saiyans that the first guy mentioned, being Goten. Goku apologizes that they took so long, but now he needs to know the exact situation going on here. This is when Vegeta notices the body on the ground below them. It's Trunks. He hurries to the ground distraught as he lifts him up, but unfortunately, notices he's already dead. Gohan tells them that they killed Goten too, which sends Goku into a frenzy. Vegeta places Trunks back down as his power begins to boil over. Everyone turns around as Vegeta's ki explodes, with him transforming in the process. All of the Saiyans are stunned as Super Saiyan 5 Vegeta returns, this time more refined and honed than ever before, showing mastery over Super Saiyan 5. Naz and the ancient Saiyans are ecstatic at Vegeta's power. However, Vegeta only sees red at this point, only wanting to know who killed his son. Naz steps forward, approaching Vegeta, saying he's the one who killed him. "But I'm more interested in this power of yours," he goes on. Vegeta notices that he has a tail as well, saying that he assumes he's a Saiyan too. Naz confirms, "I had no idea the more of our race survived," Vegeta admits, demanding that Naz tell him how and why this happened. Naz refuses, saying he's only interested in how strong Vegeta is as he powers back up to his awakened form and gets ready to fight again. Goku and Vegeta are stunned as this is the first time they're seeing these forms from the ancient Saiyans, so it's hard to believe that they're capable of this amount of power. Even Goku admits that he's never seen anything like this before. "They call themselves the Old Saiyans," Gohan explains. "They left Vegeta long before it was destroyed. Somehow, they evolved totally different than we do." "It all makes sense now," Vegeta says. "I can see how Trunks and Goten lost to you," acknowledging Naz's strength. Back over in the realm of the Kais, Kibito Kai and Elder Kai are also getting a lesson in Saiyan history, as this is their first time hearing of other Saiyans besides Goku and Vegeta as well. Elder Kai is getting the heebie-jeebies again as he says that whatever this is, it isn't good and something bad is about to happen. Back at the battlefield, Naz launches himself at Super Saiyan 5 Vegeta, who is still infuriated after learning about the death of Trunks. He ducks underneath Naz's punch and with no mercy, punches him across the face, sending him flying across the sky. Boca and Grippy can't believe it, but whatever training Goku and Vegeta have been doing has definitely been working. Vegeta chases Naz's body down and sends him back the opposite way with a kick to the side of the face. Vegeta hits him with an uppercut to the gut to send him directly above him and then fires off an enraged final flash to hopefully finish off his opponent. The blast homes in on Naz, who's still flying above them in the sky, and lands a direct hit, causing a blinding explosion. This beam, much like the last time we saw it, can even be seen from space, as Vegeta is showing an impressive display of power right now. When he lowers his hands, Naz is still standing after having tanked that attack, and he's extremely impressed. After all the wait, they really are the best, Naz says, speaking of the new Saiyans, saying he's never been so excited in his entire life. He demands they entertain him more, but Vegeta has no inclination to satisfy their useless pleasures, saying that he'll suffer 1,000 times more than Trunks. Vegeta powers up again, but this time when he charges at Naz, he's looking to end this the first time he gets an opening. Vegeta throws a few attacks that all get blocked by Naz, as these two go on a back and forth slugfest. Incredible, Gohan says as he and Goku watch the battle from nearby. Vegeta is easily dominating that guy. Even though I managed to hurt him, my own Super Saiyan 5 wasn't enough. Yeah, he's improved a lot recently, Goku admits. He's learned how to master the 4 basic emotions. He's a totally different person than he was before. The coolest thing, he goes on, he's not even fighting seriously yet, Goku tells him. Nearby, Vegeta dodges another one of Naz's kicks, grabs his leg and tosses him away. He flies up above him and starts firing a bunch of ki blasts down, pelting him into the ground. Keep in mind, Vegeta is still holding back though, as Goku just told us, as he waits to see the condition of Naz before making another move. Suddenly, Naz returns to the sky across from Vegeta, visibly worn a bit, but still enjoying himself. I thought I was strong, but you're on another level, he says to Vegeta. That other guy had potential, but was tired and unwilling to give me a proper battle, he says, referencing Trunks. Though when it came to potential, he had even more than me. He probably would have even surpassed me one day, he keeps going on, mocking the way Trunks died, getting Vegeta even more riled up. This time, Naz goes on the offensive and charges at Vegeta, engaging in another high-speed clash trying to force him backwards. But this is when Vegeta drops the charade and pierces Naz through the gut, sending this encounter full circle and killing him the way Naz had previously killed Goten and Trunks. Naz can't believe it. The other Saiyans can't believe it, that these new Saiyans actually surpassed them this much. In all honesty, I'm surprised there are still so many strong fighters out there, Vegeta comments. I would have welcomed your arrival under other circumstances. But you went too far, he says, as he goes forth and blasts directly through Naz's body, finally killing him and getting that revenge for what they did to the boys. The spectators are stunned all around as Naz's lifeless body drops to the ground, Vegeta calling him the trash that he is. Will the old Saiyans make it out of here now that Goku and Vegeta have shown up? Who am I kidding? They either want to be the last one standing or die here having the greatest battle of their lives. In another universe, Goku and Vegeta could possibly enjoy this encounter, but after what they've done, the old Saiyans must die right here. Stay tuned and be sure to turn on those notifications for the next chapter of Dragon Ball AF. Yeah, you read that title right. This chapter is about to get insane. The ancient Saiyans have shown up and caused terror on Earth, killing both Goten and Trunks to force Gohan to ascend past Super Saiyan 5. Now, Goku and Vegeta have finally shown up after their training in the other realm. After finding out the boys died, Vegeta easily kills Naz in only his Super Saiyan 5 form, as Goku confirms that through their training, Vegeta managed to master all 4 emotions, perfecting Super Saiyan 5. Now, Naz, Goten, and Trunks are all dead, as Vegeta looks towards his next victim. Goku and Super Saiyan 6 Gohan watch standing by as no one really knows the next move. Over in the land of the Kais, Kibito Kai and Elder Kai are watching in awe, first of all, that there are more Saiyans, and second, that they're as strong as their Saiyans here. These old Saiyans are terrifying, Kibito Kai says, though, given Goku and Vegeta can clearly handle themselves, this doesn't bode well. Suddenly, Elder Kai has an epiphany, remembering something clearly important. The source of my recent anxiety, he goes on. What? Tell me, Kibito Kai responds. Back on Earth, on the battlefield, Vegeta demands to know why these Saiyans are here. Grippy responds that they simply want to fight strong opponents. Vegeta confirms that that's pretty typical of their kind, so he believes it. I also came here to find a strong man to fulfill another purpose, she goes on. What's that, you say? Vegeta asks. She responds that soon, he will be here. The legendary Super Saiyan. Goku, Vegeta, and the Kais all gasp, shocked with Vegeta asking, legendary Super Saiyan? That's right, she replies. I explained to those two who died that you guys don't turn into actual Super Saiyans. The moon on this planet will soon emit a light that only shines once every 1,000 years. Apparently, by bathing in that light, those who are deemed worthy will awaken into the legendary Super Saiyan. Our true purpose is to fight such a warrior. So it turns out what we thought was a Super Saiyan is totally wrong, Goku comments. You're saying there could still be Saiyans even stronger than us? We could settle this right now, but that would be a waste, Grippy replies. We don't know who might become a real Super Saiyan. So why don't we call a temporary truce, she says. It would be a shame if everyone died before someone was chosen as the legendary Saiyan, right? So, the legendary Super Saiyan, Elder Kai says, still spectating and listening in. Huh. So it may be true after all. I heard tales of a legendary Super Saiyan long ago. You mean to say that you've seen this legendary Super Saiyan before, Kibito Kai asks? No way, Elder Kai replies. I've never actually seen one. Just heard some stories is all. It was told to me that half the galaxy was on the brink of disaster due to this legendary warrior. Half the galaxy? How have I never heard of such a monster, Kibito Kai wonders. It gets even worse, Elder Kai goes on. Young Kaioshin, it wasn't just one of these monsters, but many. Or so the understanding was at the time. Moving from one star system to another, the death toll was likely in the hundreds of billions. In just a matter of days, we realized that life forms from nearly half the stars in the galaxy had been slaughtered. To cause such devastation in this short amount of time, they must have been able to utilize instant teleportation like Goku. These were formidable planets home to powerful warriors, but all were slain regardless of their strength. After the bloodshed, he goes on, we set out to catalog the destruction. And you know what we found? The one who eradicated not just that first world, but all of them was, as you guessed it, but a single Saiyan. Unbelievable one person, causing half the galaxy to crumble to pieces. That incident must have sparked the legends that still linger to this day, Elder Kai goes on. And so began the legend of the Super Saiyan. Does this mean that is that creature who is about to show up on Earth, Kibito Kai asks? Yeah, it would appear so. They pause, look at each other, and then Kibito Kai comes up with an idea. If it's Earth's moon that's the problem, why not just destroy it, he asks. Elder Kai actually thinks this is a good idea, as he says they need to tell Goku and the others. Oh, and by the way, Grippy cuts in as if she had heard them speaking on this from planets away. Trying to destroy the moon would be pointless. Well, now they both look stumped. Because of this unique event, she goes on, the moon has enormous pent-up energy. Any devastating impact would release the energy and destroy your planet along with a few others in this system. Besides, we wouldn't want to prematurely end our fun, would we? Assuming everything you're saying is true, Vegeta says, there isn't an actual reason we need to wait to fight you. Well, I guess not technically, she says, but you can't be serious. You're a Saiyan too, aren't you? Does the chance to fight someone strong not excite you? It's not that I'm uninterested, he answers. I just have more important matters at hand. Let me guess. Family or something, she says. That's right, Vegeta replies. There was a time when brutality and conquest meant everything to me. But after I came to this planet, I realized there were things much more important. You've already lost me with your silly philosophy, she states. You're thinking way too deep. Family? The real deal is the thrill of the fight, the grit in your teeth, the fire in your soul. That's what makes life worth living. As much as I'd like to get my hands on you right now, I can't resist the urge of grappling with the legendary Super Saiyan, she tells him. However, Vegeta doesn't care, saying that they're gonna finish this right now. He doesn't care about their legends. Grippy eerily tells him that he doesn't seem to understand the situation that they're in. You're definitely misunderstanding one big detail. And what's that? Vegeta asks. The legendary Super Saiyan? It might be one of us, or it might be one of you. Who knows? It might be all three of you, and neither of us. Maybe no legendary Super Saiyan will appear at all, and this whole thing turns out to be a lie, she wonders. Waiting around might not lead to anything at all. All the more reason to end this now, Vegeta says. I want to agree, she declares, but we simply have to have a go at the legendary Super Saiyan. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. The very dream of the old Saiyans everywhere. Even if there's the slightest chance the legendary Super Saiyan is you, I don't want to kill you before knowing for certain. Then, all of a sudden, she and Boca flee the battlefield at full speed to the shock of Vegeta and the others. They ran. However, Vegeta says to not bother trying to chase them. They'll be back soon enough. For now, let's regroup and figure out what we can. He powers back down to base form along with Gohan and tells him to tell them everything that he knows. And so, with Elder Kai and Kabuto Kai listening in as well, Gohan goes on to tell them how the Saiyans suddenly showed up and ran into Goten and Trunks first, defeated them, the ascensions they experienced near death, and so on. That brings us to the current state of things. I see, Vegeta remarks. Looks like there was trouble brewing in places we didn't even know about. That's correct, Gohan states. Their way of thinking is so hard to grasp. I don't think they have emotions like us. That's not the strange part, Vegeta replies. Earthlings are soft-hearted to begin with. Saiyans are a warrior race. It's in our nature to be interested in battle only. To those guys, Kakarot and I are the weird ones. It's our fault Goten and Trunks are dead, Goku says. We would have just been around. No, it's equally my fault too, Gohan says. Should we bring them back while we can? No, Vegeta says. Let's wait until the threat is eliminated first. Those guys could still cause much more devastation. We don't want to get in over our heads before we know all we can. Got it. First, we need to speak to Bulma and get Trunks into the cryogenic stasis. So the three of them fly off and prepare for the inevitable arrival of the legendary Super Saiyan. Over in a forest, Grippy and Boca are lounging around after the events of the day, showing no care for their fallen comrade Naz, laughing and joking around. Grippy saying how fun that was and how it's been so long since she got to get serious. Boca, however, is upset that he didn't get to fight at all. She tells him that he should have just jumped in from the beginning because he really missed out. So, what do you think of those guys, Boca? The new ones, she asks. I think they're stronger than I ever imagined, he says. Right, she agrees. Think, any of us could have a real shot at becoming the legendary Super Saiyan, she asks. He replies, saying that he thinks there is plenty of potential. Oh, to think we can only meet such a fighter once in a millennium, she gushes. What a time to be alive. I wonder what it'll look like. Just how strong he will be. In this arc, the old Saiyans arrived bringing only strength and brutality. It seems there's a chance that the legendary Super Saiyan is about to appear as well. For now, the Z Fighters have been forced to wait for whatever is about to come next. Over on the sacred world of the Kais, training is about to get started in the meantime, with Goku and Gohan finally about to face off. This kind of reminds me of Beast Gohan and Ultra Instinct Goku from the Dragon Ball Super manga. Makes you wonder a little bit. I can't just sit around waiting for this legendary Super Saiyan to show up, Goku says. Show me how much you've improved, Gohan. No problem, Gohan replies. I want to get back into the fighting spirit. I'm counting on you. We won't be late to the party this time, Kibito Kai says, as Elder Kai watches Earth while he watches Goku and the others training on two separate crystal balls. If anything happens on Earth, Elder Kai is keeping an eye on things. Let's see what the two of you can do, Vegeta says, spectating Goku and Gohan's match. Goku transforms into Super Saiyan 5, and then Gohan follows, transforming into his newest Super Saiyan form, Super Saiyan 6. Is that your new form, Goku asks? I can't even sense his ki. Yeah, to be honest, I'm a little hesitant to use it in battle, Gohan replies. I feel like I may lose control. Give it your all, Goku tells him, as the battle between Super Saiyan 5 and Super Saiyan 6 finally begins. Gohan charges at Goku and throws the first punch. Goku dodges it and counters with a punch of his own that looks to connect. However, Gohan was so quick in blocking it, surprisingly, these two are looking pretty equal. Gohan lands a strike, and then Goku, as these two go back and forth. Goku showing how impressive his mastery and strength of Super Saiyan 5 is, allowing him to look equal to Super Saiyan 6 Gohan. They reel back and throw another punch that clashes, causing a shockwave throughout the training realm. This is such a callback, or call forward, however you want to say it, to the UI versus Beast Gohan fight in the manga. These two are clashing so intensely that Vegeta is close to getting blown away. Finally, Gohan shows that he can still turn it up a little bit as he begins overwhelming Super Saiyan 5 Goku. He lands some pretty solid attacks on him before kicking him into the sky above and then taking aim. He fires off multiple blasts at Goku. Goku obviously deflects them all, but it was a distraction, allowing Gohan to maneuver behind him and punch him in the back. Then, he sends Goku flying back down to the ground. Goku catches himself as Gohan lands across from him. He congratulates Gohan on how much he's leveled up. You've grown in ways I never thought you would, he says. Thanks a lot, Gohan replies. A lot has happened since, well, you know. They're just testing each other, Vegeta thinks to himself. It seems Kakarot is getting excited facing someone so challenging after so long. And Gohan seems more aggressive than usual. It looks like his body still isn't fully accustomed to this new form. Alright then, let's crank it up to the next level, Goku says. He starts powering up again as his ki explodes, and then he goes on the offensive this time, charging at Gohan. The two clash elbows as Gohan is finally being pushed back a bit after this increase in power. However, Goku isn't done here. His power keeps rising before he headbutts Gohan in the forehead and then kicks him into the air above them. He takes aim, and while Gohan descends back down to the ground, starts charging a Kamehameha. Gohan responds by charging one as well, as Goku smirks, knowing this next clash is about to be pretty epic. They both launch their attacks simultaneously as they roar across the battlefield before colliding in the center and causing a massive explosion. Vegeta can't believe it, and that these two still have more to give is insane. It's been a while since I got this amped up, Goku admits, with Gohan thinking to himself that he'd expect nothing less, and that his dad truly is unstoppable. Goku ramps up the output, forcing Gohan to respond by putting everything he has into it as well. Suddenly, the attacks explode and a cloud of smoke erupts from their struggle. They're both extremely impressed with one another, even if there isn't a true victor yet. Even Vegeta admits how impressive it is that Goku is in his Super Saiyan 5 form while Gohan is in Super Saiyan 6, and even so, they're neck and neck. Wow, this fight is getting me all pumped up, Goku says. Gohan responds by saying that even though he's an entire form ahead of him, he kind of expected it would still be evenly matched anyway. However, this is when Goku admits that he hasn't even gotten serious yet. Yes, he's been holding back in Super Saiyan 5 even against Super Saiyan 6 Gohan. Even with this form, Goku and Vegeta show a level of strength and mastery that can never go unnoticed. In the next chapter of Dragon Ball AF, Super Saiyan 5 Goku is about to show us just how far the gap is between him and everyone else, even Super Saiyan 6 Gohan. Super Saiyan 5 Goku and Super Saiyan 6 Gohan finally face off as the Saiyans wait for the arrival of the legendary Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball AF. With Goku and Vegeta's absence on Earth, a trio of Saiyans arrive. After an epic battle with both sides pushed to their limits, a temporary truce was called. Anticipating the arrival of the legendary Super Saiyan, our heroes train to pass the time. Super Saiyan 5 Goku is so impressive that he's actually managed to outlast and overpower Super Saiyan 6 Gohan. Like Vegeta, Goku has mastered his 4 emotions, drawing out the full power of Super Saiyan 5. All of a sudden, Goku goes back to his base form saying, "Let's take a break from all this," ending the battle with Gohan. The 3 Saiyans sit down for a meal as time slowly passes before the arrival of the legendary Super Saiyan. "Dad, honestly, do you think we can beat the legendary Super Saiyan?" Gohan asks. Well, we'll never know until we meet him," Goku replies. "But from what I saw earlier, I think we'll be able to do something about it. I didn't even know there was a higher transformation to reach," Goku replies regarding Super Saiyan 6. "I hope no one else dies," Gohan subtly says, but Goku responds that Gohan is as strong as he can be right now. The rest is just gonna happen as it does. "As usual, you have no sense of urgency," Vegeta comments. "I won't let Kakarot continue to do everything himself. I'll kill them all this time." "Guess I'm the only one who is nervous," Gohan admits. "Forget about that, Gohan. Next time you're fighting me," Vegeta demands, with Gohan agreeing. Over in a town, Grippy and Boca are living amongst the Earthlings, not knowing how to properly function, honestly, as they're caught standing in the middle of traffic. "I don't think we're supposed to go down this road," Grippy says, as some guy in a car starts yelling at them. Fortunately, she keeps it cool, however, and just apologizes. But they have made it clear they just want to fight strong people, so it shouldn't be surprising they aren't just slaughtering citizens. They go on about their day throughout the city, even stopping for food, but because they don't have any money, Grippy decides to enter a sparring contest and, of course, easily beats the champion and earns the money. Now that they have money, they're able to buy more food and daydream about the legendary Super Saiyan. All of a sudden, a shock goes through all of them. Every Saiyan on Earth is frozen. Yes, it's finally time. The legendary Super Saiyan is about to be born any moment now, and they can all feel it. Grippy is literally trembling just thinking about being moments away from the battle of a lifetime, something that only happens once every 1,000 years. "I'm sure the moon will shine tonight," she says. "It's finally here." "It's really been a long time," Boca says. "Let's go to a place with a good view of the moon," Grippy says as the two fly off to prepare. Back over on the planet of the Kais, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta are monitoring what's happening on Earth, as Vegeta says that it looks like the other Saiyans are on the move. "I'm sure they feel it too. Perhaps it's Saiyan instinct." "The moon is giving off a special light tonight," Goku says, with Gohan agreeing that legendary Super Saiyan is indeed coming. "Well then, we're off too," Goku says, as Elder Kai tells them that before they do, this enemy is probably the strongest they've ever faced. Without a doubt, actually. "Goku, take these with you just in case," he says, taking off his Patar earrings. "Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but thanks," Goku says, accepting them. "We're counting on you once again," Elder Kai tells them. It's then that the 3 Saiyans instant transmission to Earth. "What do you think?" Kibito Kai asks Elder Kai, who replies, "I don't know, but I do have faith in them." Goku and the others appear right behind the old Saiyans as they all prepare for the inevitable soon. Grippy confirms that the moment they're waiting for is only a few hours away. "I don't want to just wait around though, so why don't we have a little chat?" she goes on. "When the legendary Super Saiyan shows up, shouldn't we decide who fights first and in which order?" "Are you planning to fight one by one?" Goku asks. Certainly, she answers. It's standard for Saiyans to engage in one-on-one combat. You seem to have misunderstood. This isn't a game, Vegeta cuts in. In the unlikely event this Earth is to be put in danger, we will use any means necessary. Saiyans or not, quickly understand that we do not think the same as you, Goku says. There you go again with the incomprehensible ideals, she comments. I'm getting tired of trying to figure you guys out. I just want you to know, if you try to interfere with our fun, I will destroy everything you hold dear, she threatens. The same goes for the two of you, Vegeta responds. We're not looking to make friends out of this situation, so why don't we just let our instinct dictate our actions? That's what a Saiyan does. Well, for the first time, we're on the same page, she says, calming back down. As the hours pass, the Saiyans begin watching the moon appear as a blistering light illuminates from it. The most blinding moonlight you've ever seen in your life envelops this entire area for miles as the Saiyans bask in it, waiting to see who the lucky one is that will transform. However, when Grippy looks over, no one is transformed yet, including her. She's almost brought to tears that there seems to be no legendary Super Saiyan, as all the Saiyans are here, but no one has changed. If you think about it, the odds are astronomical this Saiyan would have been one of us, Vegeta comments, as Grippy bursts into tears. We can't mourn what never was, Boca says to her. It's a shame we won't get to meet the legendary Super Saiyan. The new Saiyans are still stronger than we thought though, but the fun isn't completely gone. Yeah, she agrees. We came all the way here, so we should have fun. In a field not too unfamiliar though, the moonlight has done its job and chosen someone. A power like nothing any of them have ever seen before is awakening. All of a sudden, an explosion of ki so violent that it looks like an attack erupts from this wasteland. All of the Saiyans are stunned because this doesn't make sense. There's only one other Saiyan in that direction, and he should be dead. The legendary Super Saiyan completes his transformation and finally opens his eyes. Somehow, some way, Naz has become the legendary Super Saiyan. He lets out an excited shriek as he can't believe his fortune right now. It was actually him. What is this feeling, Goku says, as Naz's ki has all of them trembling, both the old and new Saiyans. Naz takes aim and flies off at a speed that can only be described as instant as he suddenly appears before all the other Saiyans in the mountains. They can't believe it. Somehow this guy is back. Aren't you supposed to be dead, Vegeta asks. I thought the same, Naz admits. Well, I guess I'm lucky. I don't care about that. I've become a legendary Super Saiyan and I want to use my powers to their fullest. But who to start with? If no one wants to volunteer, I can be the one to choose. I'm holding you to your promise, you know, Boca says to Grippy, insinuating that he wants to get to hop in this time. Naz, you're gonna be fighting me, he says. He's finally born, the older Kai admits, as we cut back over to the planet of the Kais with them spectating the match on Earth, the legendary Super Saiyan. They really seem to be fighting amongst themselves, Kibito Kai admits. It seems they are driven solely by a sense of combat with no other emotions. Maybe we'll get lucky and these old Saiyans will destroy themselves, he hopes. I don't think it will go that well, Elder Kai admits. I can feel there's more to this than only the surface. It's been a while since our last tussle, Naz says to Boca, back on Earth. I've never beaten you before, so this time I'll get my revenge. Dad, should we just stand here and let them fight, Gohan asks? Let's just wait and see for a second. Boca prepares to attack Naz as he powers up and transforms into a form that resembles Super Saiyan 4 as well. Boca lets his power explode as Naz gets ready to finally cut loose with this new power of his. Goku tells Gohan and Vegeta that they need to get out of there, so they fly away to continue watching the battle but stay safe. Boca charges at Naz and throws a punch but misses. However, the power of his single punch creates an enormous crater in the ground, collapsing the landscape around them. Naz appears behind him though, but by the time Boca turns around and tries to fire a blast, Naz extends his hand and engulfs Boca in his attack with an even bigger blast of his own. Naz's attack causes a huge explosion that blows the Z Fighters away, but Boca tanks it and responds by finally landing a punch on the legendary Super Saiyan, sending him flying backwards. He flies above him and slams him back down to the ground. Naz crashes into the rocks, but Boca isn't letting his guard down. He knows it won't be that easy. As predicted, Naz gets back to his feet, takes a deep breath, then throws a huge grin on his face. "Amazing," he says. "I'm surprised. Your attacks have become so ineffective." This is the power of the legendary Super Saiyan. Fighting is fun after all. Boca can't believe it, but rather than feel doom, his Saiyan instincts are roaring, and knowing that this will push him further than beyond ever before is getting him excited. Suddenly, however, Naz appears directly in his face before he can even react and unleashes a flurry of punches, overwhelming Boca. He drops an axe kick on the back of Boca's head, and this sends him soaring back towards the surface. Naz can barely contain himself. The joy of being so strong and having all these strong opponents to fight is almost overwhelming. Looks like it's overwhelming Grippy too. Goku and the others are stunned, as even he admits that he could hardly even see the legendary Super Saiyan's movements. "I can't see the bottom," Gohan says, trembling. "This is the power of the legendary Super Saiyan." Boca struggles to get back to his feet as he looks at the blood dripping from his mouth into his hands. "It's ridiculous that I couldn't react at all," he admits. "That blow was so heavy and devastating. At that speed, he's really doing damage to vital points. He's clearly a different person than the Naz I've seen so far. His joviality, his attacks are hard to read. Everything about him is so different. It's exciting. With this much difference, I can definitely evolve too." The legendary Super Saiyan has finally been born in Dragon Ball AF, and this is the most dreadful power Goku and the others have ever faced. The full extent of his power is yet to be seen. Will Goku and his allies be able to overcome this unprecedented crisis? Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you in the next chapter of Dragon Ball AF. Super Saiyan 5 Goku, Vegeta, and Super Saiyan 6 Gohan may be at the pinnacle of their own Saiyan power, but the legendary Super Saiyan has finally been born, and even the old Saiyans are no match. In Dragon Ball AF, the legendary Super Saiyan is finally born. Goku and his friends will face an enemy with unprecedented power. Will they be able to defeat him before he kills everyone here? "Boca, you gotta work your butt off," Naz says. "Otherwise, this will be over soon." "I know," he replies, "and I'll do it." Boca begins powering up. This time, his ki explodes, as it was true he was actually concealing more strength, which excites Naz, and Grippy as well, as the other Saiyans watch. Boca charges at Naz with a smile on his face as he enjoys the battle of a lifetime. He throws a punch and completely misses Naz, who dodges the strike and then counters with one of his own. Boca is bent over in pain from the strike to the gut as Naz extends his arm out and begins creating an enormous ball of ki. He blasts Boca at point blank range as the attack engulfs him and looks like it completely obliterates him as a huge cloud of smoke erupts in the sky. Boca, reverting back to his base form, falls from the sky and plummets into the ground unconscious and defeated after taking that last attack. "Wow, it's over already? Although I tried to hold back my strength," Naz comments. "He's defeated Boca without any effort," Vegeta says, trembling. "How much power is he hiding? I hate him." "No wonder it's said that he's the strongest in the whole universe," Gohan comments. "The form we used to call Super Saiyan is simply obsolete." Goku, however, seems to be looking at this differently. "It's strange," he says. "Even at a moment like this, I'm excited. Looks like I'm a Saiyan after all," he chuckles nervously. Grippy is excited too, as even if Boca is dead, she can finally have her shot at the legendary Super Saiyan. However, down on the ground, something surprising happens. Boca begins getting to his feet after regaining consciousness. He gets up and lets out a roar and even starts powering up again. The spectators can't believe it, as it looks like he may be finally transforming and breaking his limits. Boca looks down at his own hands trembling as he can feel his power surging and ready to break through. I thought he had no strength left, Gohan says fearfully, with Naz waiting to see if this new power that Boca is about to awaken can be worth his time. He releases a dreadful amount of ki that levels the battlefield as the other Saiyans watch on, until finally, Boca has finally awakened his true potential. Just like Grippy and Naz before him, it does feel good after all, he comments. This time, it's the best. This power overwhelms me. It seems like every time they face an enemy stronger than them and their excitement peaks, they transform, Gohan says, trying to understand just how much power these Saiyans could really have. Boca and Naz prepare for their final battle, as this one promises to at least be better than the last, as both of them display huge smiles on their face. Boca charges at Naz with his new power that honestly just makes him look a lot more feral. They clash fists, and it creates a shockwave so massive and aggressive that it nearly blows Goku and the others away with how forceful it is. Boca begins launching a flurry of attacks at Naz, however he easily blocks them all. Boca kicks him in the bottom of the chin, but again, it's ineffective and he blocks the next punch too. Goku and the others are stunned by the power of these two, as Gohan says the impact of their collisions alone can affect those around them. They are clearly much more powerful than the guys we fought before, Goku says. And of course, Grippy is just doing Grippy things. You guys know how young GG gets down. Boca doesn't hold back as he throws another punch that finally connects and sends Naz soaring. He creates a giant ball of ki over his head with the majority of his strength and launches it down at Naz on the ground. Naz, however, still has that huge Gear 5 smile on his face as the attack approaches him and a massive explosion erupts. The other Saiyans are floored by Boca's new strength, but unfortunately, that last burst just exhausted him. When the smoke clears, Naz is still standing and he doesn't have a scratch on him. Boca's strongest attack, powerless. Naz looks down at his own hands, impressed with his strength, as he says that it seems that his body has gotten used to his new power. Boca realizes even with his new strength, there's nothing he can do. Boca, not even your best attack could do any harm to me, Naz tells him. This transformation makes me very resilient. Even I'm surprised. I think I understand now why you didn't become the legendary Super Saiyan, he says. Even though you were more powerful than me, you didn't kill me. Isn't that naivety the reason why you couldn't become the legendary Super Saiyan? Boca ponders this and then says, a battle against someone strong is something worth living for, but I have no interest in killing anyone. Knowing that I'm stronger than the opponent is enough for me. Oh yeah, that's why you're not the one, Naz responds. If you're a Saiyan, you have to know that there's only one thing more important than combat. And that's blood, he says with a sinister grin. Boca, acknowledging that Naz will never change, seems like he's apparently always been a bloodthirsty Saiyan. Naz begs him not to die too fast as something changes drastically all of a sudden. Naz finally decides to display a glimpse of his true terrifying power as the legendary Super Saiyan and releases an absurd amount of ki. His aura becomes so monstrous that it illuminates half of the globe and it shines like a giant meteor collision from space. Boca, Grippy, and our Z fighters are all blown away by Naz's power that's causing worldwide earthquakes, trembling society. When Naz finishes, him simply powering up has destroyed the landscape for miles on end, making the battlefield a destroyed wasteland. He charges at Boca at a speed so devastating, he looks like he's glitching through the air, and before Boca can even process having to react, Naz tears through him like a stuffed animal, completely shredding his arm off in one go. Everyone on the battlefield is stunned at what just happened. His speed, power, and bloodthirst are unreal now. Boca never stood a chance. Naz lands and holds up Boca's arm as some sort of trophy as the Saiyan shrieks in pain behind him. He takes his arm and pours the blood from it directly into his mouth, similarly to how he treated Goten and Trunks after mortally wounding them as well. Even with your new form, I'm still far from serious fighting, Naz tells Boca as the terrifying reality finally sets in for everyone. They have no chance as they are. Apparently, this is your limit, he says. We've known each other for a long time, but it's time to say goodbye. You have any last words? He asks his old friend. Boca responds saying, I think you're right. I'm not the one because selfishness is a necessary quality for the legendary Super Saiyan. Naz asks, what does he mean? Boca responds that, to be honest, he didn't like it when he saw Naz enjoying killing his enemies. My parents and everyone around me killed people. It's a matter, of course, so I pretended that I did too. I see clearly now. The legendary Super Saiyan enjoys fighting the strong, even if they're his friends or family. You're proof of that. The time I spent with you, I think I grew fond of you. This may have touched Grippy slightly, probably not, but Naz just bursts into disrespectful laughter, saying that he always hated how sweet he noticed Boca was. Saiyans don't need love and friendship, he tells him. The fact that you've been alive all this time is a humiliation. You don't deserve a long fight. Let's fix that. Boca, frightened at first, would rather die on his feet than on his knees, and obliges Naz in this last engagement by charging in himself and not waiting on him to make the first move. Naz catches his fist, however, so Boca attempts to knee him, but this, along with his next kick, gets avoided. Then, the counterattack. Naz thrusts forward before a grueling crunch can be heard around the battlefield. He impales Boca, just like his last two victims, and sends him free falling lifelessly to the ground. Over on the planet of the Kais, they can't believe what they're seeing, as Kibito Kai says that he didn't think he'd end up actually killing him. That must be the essence of a true Saiyan. I can't believe he defeated Boca so easily, Grippy gushes. The power of the legendary Super Saiyan is a dream come true. That was a good warm-up, Naz finally says. And now, he looks over. Who will be next? You can come all at the same time if you want. I don't mind. Of course, however, Grippy wants to go next. She could barely be patient the entire time. Gohan speaks up, however, telling Goku that they can't allow it. Well, I hope you don't mind, Grippy, Naz says to her, but I'd rather fight one of the new Saiyans than you. You're honestly no match for me. This sends her reeling as she demands to go next because she's been waiting so long, but Gohan still isn't sure. All those dead people in front of us, he says. Honestly, I can't stand it. But Goku actually agrees with him this time, saying he understands how he feels and that they'll all go in together this time. This is when Goku speaks up and asks Grippy, could she give them her turn? No, she responds. How long do you think I've been waiting for this moment? It's been my lifelong dream to fight the legendary Super Saiyan. Goku actually does understand though, saying that he knows how she feels and then comes up with another plan altogether. How about this, he says. How about a fight against the winner of our battle? Isn't it better to battle against the strongest of us all anyway? Looks like he's actually managing to trick her, as she thinks about it and then says, it does kind of make sense to fight the strongest. Besides, I don't think the legendary Super Saiyan can lose in battle. And you want to fight us too, right? Goku asks Naz, who agrees, and then, in one of the dopest shots in the entire manga, Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan all power up to Super Saiyan 5 and 6 respectively. Now, Naz is even more excited as this is the moment he's been waiting for as well, testing the power of the legendary Super Saiyan against the new Saiyans. The real fight starts now. It's about to begin, Kabito Kai says, as everyone watches on anxiously. Come on, let's get started, Goku says. The most important battle they've ever fought is about to begin for Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, as all the training they've done for the past nearly 30 chapters of Dragon Ball AF has culminated into this moment. Will everyone make it out alive? Will anyone make it out alive? And do they even have a chance of defeating the legendary Super Saiyan? Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more Dragon Ball content, and I'll see you all in the next one. Once every 1,000 years, the legendary Super Saiyan awakens, a monster of immense power and destruction. However, this time, in Dragon Ball AF, instead of everyone being destroyed, maybe things will be different. The ancient Saiyans have proved to be far stronger than anyone the Z Fighters have ever fought before, with their evolutions awakening right at the brink of defeat, propelling them right back into the fight. However, when Naz became the legendary Super Saiyan thanks to the solar event, everything changed. He effortlessly killed Boca, and now Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta are about to challenge him once and for all. Acting purely on instinct, the legendary Super Saiyan revels in battle. The true depth of his powers still remains to be unseen. Do Goku and the others, even with perfected Super Saiyan 5 and Super Saiyan 6, even stand a chance? Here we go, Goku roars, as next the three Saiyans charge in to attack Naz. Goku charges in directly as Gohan and Vegeta take either side, but Naz just smirks as they close in. He dodges the first attack and easily evades both Gohan and Vegeta diving in from either side. Goku throws another kick, but Naz easily blocks it and then sends all three of them flying back with separate strikes simultaneously. Then, he chooses his first target as Naz launches himself at Vegeta first. He clobbers Vegeta with a thunderous punch, implanting him into the ground, causing him to cough up blood. Then, he sends Vegeta soaring with another punch across the battlefield. Goku panics, but he has no time to worry about Vegeta because Naz appears behind him instantly. He hits Goku with a kick, sending him flying as well. Super Saiyan 6 Gohan is the last one left. He appears behind Naz, attempting to catch him off guard. Unfortunately, it fails and Naz is able to block the attack. Then, just like the last two, he easily overwhelms Gohan too. Grippy, much like Naz, is absolutely enjoying this battle, as Naz says that his body feels insanely light. So this is the real power of the legendary Super Saiyan. Feeling this good, I might get addicted. Out of the rubble, at all three locations however, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta all erupt out of the debris, momentarily bested but nowhere near defeat as they prepare for the next round. Impressive. You were so fast I couldn't even react, Goku says. But still, the real fight starts now. Nice, that's what I'm talking about, Naz says, encouraging them. Goku goes in next to kick off round 2, but this time, he's much more serious. Naz tries to catch him incoming with a punch, but Goku maneuvers around him. Naz anticipates and tries to catch his next location, but Goku has created about half a dozen after images to deceive him. Suddenly, he's able to grab Naz from behind and restrain him, while Vegeta comes in and lands a decisive punch to the gut. While Naz is stunned, in the distance, Gohan is charging a special beam cannon, ready to launch his most powerful attack and end this. He fires his next attack as the special beam cannon rips through the sky. However, Naz waits for it with a huge grin on his face, looking like he's ready to bear the entirety of this blow. An explosion erupts as all the Saiyans spectating brace themselves and look on to see what happened. Not bad, Grippy says. Gohan admits that he definitely felt the draw on that one, but even a guy like Naz won't walk away from that unscathed. I still don't like the idea of teaming up, Vegeta admits, but Goku tells him that if Earth is gone, none of this matters anyway. Out of the smoke, however, Naz appears with a devious laugh, enjoying every waking second of this battle. No way, Gohan says. My special beam cannon barely did anything. Nah, that was a solid hit, you know, Naz responds. Your combo move wasn't bad either, but I could use a little more excitement. He's pretty good. I'm getting pumped, Goku admits. Looks like we'll have to go all out too, or this fight won't even be fair. Vegeta, looks like now's not the time to be holding back. I suppose there's no choice. It wouldn't be any fun otherwise, Vegeta replies. Dad and the others, Gohan thinks to himself. Even in that form, I've realized just how big the gap is from that last attack. I never imagined the difference was this huge. Looks like you're finally getting serious, Naz says. I've been looking forward to this. All of a sudden, Goku and Vegeta pull something that up until now was never thought possible. The two of them transform past even Super Saiyan 5. However, this isn't Super Saiyan 6 either. It's something far different. Gohan, Naz, and Grippy can't believe they were still hiding so much power, as after a blinding flash of light, their hair goes back to somewhat normal. However, their evolution resembles that of which the old Saiyans underwent. This is Ultimate Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, finally born for the first time ever, revealing the results of their most recent training. Sorry about that. I was just sizing up your strength, Goku says. Whoa, that's the form Dad was talking about, Gohan thinks to himself. The one that draws out all four emotions. Joy, anger, sorrow, and pleasure. This is the ultimate peak we've reached. I guess you could call it Ultimate Super Saiyan, Goku deems it. Alright then, let's go on to round 2, but really this is like round 3 or maybe even 4 depending on how you're looking at it. Goku and Vegeta go to attack Naz again, but this time, something's different. The speed Goku and Vegeta are operating at is unreal and even catches Naz off guard, allowing them to lay solid attacks. Vegeta appears behind him and lands a crushing kick to the ribs that definitely hurt Naz this time, as we can see him wince. The two of them then barrage Naz with an overwhelming crash of punches and kicks, continually pushing him back, and it seems like this new power of theirs is really pushing the legendary Super Saiyan to his limits. They land one final punch that absolutely crumbles Naz and sends him flying, and then, just like in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, Goku and Vegeta look to finish this with a tag Kamehameha Gallic Gun. They launch the attack with full force of their new transformations, but Naz, fully embodying the legendary Super Saiyan, holds his ground and extends his hands as it looks like he wants to combat this attack head on again. Naz stops the beam in its tracks as he looks to test himself even further, but Goku and Vegeta's resolve won't waver here. They put their full power into this attack as it looks to engulf the legendary Super Saiyan, and it looks like it finally is. An explosion erupts that creates a huge cloud of smoke and almost blows Gohan and Grippy away from the intensity of the blast. Goku and Vegeta await to see the result, hoping that, at the very least, he'll be weakened and somewhat hurt from it, but when the smoke clears, everyone is left trembling. Naz is still standing, looking like he just got done with a decent warm-up or something, even after an attack like that from these two. This is the worst case scenario, as now they know just how large this gap still is, and it is far bigger than even Gohan thought prior. Naz admits, however, that their last attack did hit him pretty hard, so maybe this will end up being fun. He took a direct hit from Dad and Vegeta and only took that little damage, Gohan says. with even Goku admitting that while he can't believe how amazing he is, he's still trembling with excitement. Alright then, I guess it's time for me to show what I can really do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Goku says, as Vegeta states that they're ready to see his true power. Suddenly, Naz becomes more feral as his ki continues climbing, but becoming even more dreadful. Amazing, Goku admits, with even Vegeta stating that he never thought it would go this far. What an overwhelming ki. When he's done powering up, it's time to finally get serious as Goku readies himself, but now it's Naz's turn. He and Goku charge at each other and clash forearms. Vegeta and Gohan fly in next, with Vegeta's attack getting blocked and Gohan's dodged. This looks like it's gonna play out just like the last time as Naz fights them 1v3 without an issue. Gohan can't believe that even at this point with all three of them, they still can't overpower him. Goku finally lands a solid punch straight to the face that does make him stumble backwards. However, this is short-lived as he quickly disappears and picks out Vegeta again, punching him across the face. Then, he doubles back and lands a kick that incapacitates Gohan next. Naz releases a shockwave that sends all the Saiyans flying away from him in different directions, but he didn't do it to run away. He chases down Goku and appears behind him this time before landing an absolutely devastating kick to the neck that knocks him unconscious. Gohan and Vegeta can't believe it, even with all of their new power combined. The legendary Super Saiyan is so far out of their league that there's no telling what will happen next. If Goku's out of the fight, how can they possibly win this when the three of them together at full power were less than ineffective? The legendary Super Saiyan wielding overwhelming power. Could it be that even Goku and the others' newest evolutions still can't reach Naz? Find out next time in the shocking conclusion of Young Gigi's Dragon Ball AF. Goku and Vegeta, after undergoing intense training, evolved into the ultimate Super Saiyans. Yet, before the awakened legendary Super Saiyan Naz, they couldn't even put up a fight. Not to mention alongside Super Saiyan 6 Gohan. Against Naz, whose power surpassed anything before, can Goku and the others possibly win? This is Young Gigi's Dragon Ball AF. The finale, at least for right now, is here. I really hope you guys have been enjoying this story, and shout out to the comments for letting me know we had so much more to cover, but without further ado, let's hop right in. After that last attack on Goku that knocked him out and sent him crashing into the ground, Vegeta and Gohan can't believe how easily he was just removed from the fight. With only two of them left standing, their chances look less than slim. Vegeta becomes enraged, showing a lot of endearment towards Goku, telling Naz how dare he do that to Kakarot, and charges directly at the legendary Super Saiyan. Vegeta connects a punch to the gut, but ever since Naz opted to get a little more serious with them, it's been no use and now seems no different. He's enjoying this. Vegeta's attack explodes at point blank range, however, nothing happens. Come to think of it, Naz says with that huge grin on his face, that attack back then, it felt amazing. But this one just now, I didn't feel anything. Is this your limit? What did you say? Vegeta responds angrily. You're getting full of yourself. But Naz explodes with a thunderous ki, begging him to make this more fun. Vegeta obliges him and goes to throw another unsuccessful punch that gets blocked. Naz and Vegeta are in a deadlock now as they both try to overwhelm the other. Their ki is so fierce it nearly blinds Gohan, who's spectating nearby. Finally, Vegeta headbutts Naz and the two separate. Vegeta knees him in the ribs and looks like he's finally getting the upper hand as he follows up with another punch that sends Naz flying down into the ground. He then fires a flurry of ki blasts down at Naz, who looks up but couldn't react in time and starts getting pelted by Vegeta's ki blasts. The attacks continue to pummel and pummel him as the explosion continues to grow larger and possibly finally beginning to weaken Naz. However, before the smoke even clears, Naz rips through and appears in front of Vegeta in an instant. He hits Vegeta with a crushing punch across the face that makes him stumble. However, Vegeta is insanely tough. He blocks the next one, showing some impressive resolve, and then another. The two start scrapping it out again as Vegeta doesn't look like he's ready to call it quits yet. Down in the crater where Goku was launched, something begins to happen with his ki. Even after reaching the ultimate pinnacle of their abilities, Goku still has more to give somehow. Suddenly, he stands up. Goku takes a big deep breath, centers his ki, and then finally opens his eyes. And something has definitely changed here. Up above, everything freezes as even the Kais can't believe what they're seeing. Father? Are you okay? Gohan asks, as clearly everyone can feel the sudden shift in Goku's ki. Goku replies, yeah, and then suddenly appears in front of Gohan. You're not a kid anymore, he says. He looks at Gohan as he ponders how to explain what happened to him, but all he can really describe it as is that he can't say for sure, but he might have even gone beyond Shenron's power just now. What is this feeling in my chest? Naz wonders to himself. It's like something mysterious is about to happen. This strange sensation. It's a unique, tingling energy, Vegeta thinks. This Kakarot is clearly different than before. His very aura has changed. Just what happened to him? I'm glad to have met someone as strong as you again after so long, Goku says. I really am a Saiyan after all. Fighting you is so much fun, I can hardly stand it, he comments. But Goku has a pretty crazy look in his eyes right now, almost feral even. He transforms back up to Ultimate Super Saiyan as he releases a vicious ki that even Vegeta can't believe, and they achieve these forms together. But now, it's time for the final battle and to finally see the pinnacle of what Goku is meant to become. Nice, Naz says. Let's see just how much you've changed. But before he can finish the sentence, Goku has already planted his fist square in the face of Naz, instantly appearing in front of him before he could process what happened. The spectators are shocked, but this still isn't enough to put down the legendary Super Saiyan. Naz recovers and then grabs Goku by the face and drives him straight into the ground below. A massive crater forms from the force of Naz, forcing Goku through the Earth's crust. Then, he launches him back upwards with a kick and unleashes a sinister amount of ki in the form of a ball in front of him. Naz launches his attack at the reeling Goku, who struggles to regain himself in time, and in seconds, the attack makes contact and explodes in a massive cloud of smoke. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like Goku's quick thinking could get him out of this one. No way, Vegeta utters. Even with Kakarot, it's still not enough. At this rate, the Earth, Gohan panics. Goku finally reveals himself from the smoke, and while not defeated yet, he's definitely exhausted and damaged. To be honest, I've got high hopes for you two, Naz cheers. There's something different about you compared to the others. If you're still hiding any power, I'd love to see it. Goku struggles to catch his breath from exhaustion as it seems like he's on his last leg here, and Naz knows it too. You probably haven't realized it yet, but I still haven't gotten serious, he tells them. Right now, 50% of my full power is more than enough for the likes of you. Vegeta and Gohan are stunned. Only 50% of his power? That's impossible. If that's true, then in my current state, there's no way I can win, Goku admits. But even still, when I'm fighting you, I get the feeling something strange is about to happen. You're right, Naz erupts. That possibility definitely exists, Saiyans. You never know what'll trigger your next power-up. I'm counting on your boundless potential, he tells them. There's no way we can win one-on-one, Gohan says. We'll have to use everything we've got, together. Still, after all the training I've done, to think someone could surpass even us, Vegeta seethes to himself. It really pisses me off. Whether what you said is true or not, Vegeta yells, It doesn't change what we have to do. All that matters is blasting you into pieces. That's the spirit. Vegeta charges in first to attack Naz, followed by both Gohan and Goku, as the three of them refuse to give up even in the face of guaranteed defeat. The legendary Super Saiyan is far stronger and far more dangerous than they ever imagined. And he's only using half of his power against the very best that they have to offer, all at the same time even. Come on, what's wrong? Naz asked sarcastically. With attacks like that, there's no way you can beat me. None of their hits are even landing on him anymore, and then suddenly, Naz turns the tables on them and starts attacking again instead of dodging, and punches Gohan in the gut. In his weakened state, this was Gohan's last attempt, as Naz can tell that he's no longer of any use in this battle and blasts him away. Gohan gets sent flying into a wasteland nearby, where he falls to the ground back in his base form and unconscious. Looks like it's your turn now, Naz says, pointing to Vegeta, who warns him not to mock him. The two of them start exchanging attacks again before Goku jumps into the mix as well. Naz effortlessly blocks all of their attacks simultaneously before sending Vegeta flying away with another devastating punch, and then doing the same to Goku, kicking him in the top of the head. Before they can recover though, Naz appears above them, saying that maybe he'll turn it up just a little. He starts creating another massive attack overhead, demanding that they show him that they can surpass their limits. He creates a giant ball of energy that they can barely stand to combat, as Naz's power just wears down on them slowly, and even he says that he's gonna keep cranking it up. He outputs an insane amount of power and easily overwhelms the two of them with his attack again, just punishing Goku and Vegeta at this point. When the smoke clears, both Goku and Vegeta have returned to their base forms, completely drained of energy and barely able to stand after the amount of damage that they've taken. Completely out of options now, there's really only one thing left that they can even attempt. I really didn't want to have to do this, Goku says, but it doesn't look like we got much choice. Goku reaches into his waist, not for the heat, but for the Patara, which, unfortunately, throughout the course of this fight, was crushed, foiling our chances of a Vegito appearance thanks to the beatdown Goku took. Looks like we've got no choice but to fuse, right, Vegeta? Goku tells him. But with the Patara broken, there's only one other way to get it done. Now's not the time to be stubborn either just because you hate the dance, Vegeta, Goku says. Fortunately for Vegeta, this is the only way they'll even have a chance of surviving this, much less beating Naz. So he sucks it up and just concedes to doing the dance. Naz watches on curiously, hoping it's not another bluff, as Goku and Vegeta perform the fusion dance as a last-ditch effort to get back in this fight somehow after multiple crushing defeats. And when they're done, to the absolute shock of Naz and Grippy, after a flash of blinding light, finally, Gogeta has officially been born in Dragon Ball AF. Naz is stunned, anxious, and maybe a little too excited as he says that they fused, so they actually can do something interesting. However, Gogeta isn't here for a sparring match. It's over. I'm gonna wipe that creepy grin off your face, he says. And guys, unfortunately, and I really hate to say this, for right now at least, that is the final chapter of Dragon Ball AF. Yeah, I know, a really wild place to end it at, but as of right now, I'm not even sure what young Gigi's up to lately, so no telling when this continues. I'm gonna keep my eye out though, of course, and if you guys see a new chapter drop, let me know. But for now, that is gonna wrap up our telling of Dragon Ball AF. Thank you all for watching. I really hope I made this story digestible to listen to, and don't worry, I know that these are like our bread and butter, so even though I don't do stories as often as I used to, I definitely don't mind doing them every now and then. So if you guys know any other interesting Dragon Ball fan manga, or if you want me to go back and redo a story we did years ago with better narration, audio quality, etc., drop the manga or the story down below in the comments. But that is going to do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day. I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, my boys.